Yo, so a thought that I had while I was working out. Well, I guess maybe I had it elsewise. I just had this thought, and like I was thinking of it as I was working out. I was like, I'll record a video. So the other day I made a video. It's even up on my YouTube, but it's not like public. It's just in the private thing because I feel like at some point I'll just make it public. But like I figure if everything in my hard drive's public to some degree, it's like what you know. Uh, Anyway, whatever. I think I'm doing this a certain way, and it's just private for now. But at some point, it'll be public, I suppose, maybe in any instance. Um, but I was like really just angry, and like the past couple days, it's just like some of it is that there's no visible movement on the Stephanie Houston thing, even though it's like, yo, people are dying over this. Literally, that you know, this is what the situation like around me that seems to be just obviously tied with the seven churches of Asia and Revelation. Like, it's like the thing that makes it really obvious that something's going on and that they've been taunting so much or she's taunted so much with it. It's like, well, yeah, this is clearly going on. She's like taunting at this point so openly. I suppose I think she didn't think anything would happen, but then I think I flipped the script or like flipped it on her pretty reasonably. But I don't think she's as comfortable as she was. But in any instance, I just I've been like stressed, but also just that my leg is hurting a lot, and I feel really like this is the idea of the venom, right? The venom, the snake venom, and the snake bit thing. And I've been making a number of videos about Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio. I made a video, last night that or was it last night? I think so. Yeah. Um, and it's the one are Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio a trap or my dogs? I think I can on YouTube. It's like, oh, here, let me even. I'll pull everything up because I just didn't. I just got done playing Warzone, but and it felt like something was going on with Warzone where like, yeah, first one dude was just like the aim was too snappy for it to be not be robotic, and I'm like, well, I guess you could have aim assist on, and then the next like there was a smoke grenade and I was in the smoke and then I just get shot through the smoke, and then it's no longer there when I see it on the kill cam, and it's like, all right, well, it's probably just people fucking with the game. I don't know. I just don't want to, like, I've already had enough like bad experiences tonight. I'll just move on. I can play again another day. So getting all these cameras up. Um, in any instance, Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio, are they a trap or my dogs? And like, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek video. Obviously, if I just made a video like Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio are rapist dogs. Also, the thumbnail is like Anja Ambrosio with dog stuff on it, but I think the point is like, it feels as though the point is like, well, she's willing to, pretend but not actually do it, and same thing with Alessandra, which is why it's really shitty. Which is why I'm like, well, okay, I'll just bring this into public view because like it's been going on long enough that like there's no way I'm not being just tracked in my private reality, and there's also no way that uh, you could deny that there's not a pattern and that there wasn't intentionality behind what they've done and how they've acted, and which I think is, to be honest, towards me, really shitty, and it makes me feel bad. But I also understand that life is war. Well, like what it currently is, until we get to the kingdom of heaven, it's a fight, and like I believe the reason I'm the one who wins the fight is because I believe I'm the one that wins the fight. And some of that means, I mean, I'm just gonna have to go through stuff like this, which seems to be the fourth church thing. as much as I could want it not to be as much as whatever. But I'm not gonna let idealism and optimism and like whatever get in the way of something better, because I know that even if I like whatever has been offered or whatever conceptually they're trying to show to me, whatever's at the seventh church and beyond, infinitely better than anything. If they're there, they're blessed infinitely better than imaginable. I'd make them into even more beautiful, more fun, whatever versions of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I just, like, I even think one of the reasons Alessandra Ambrosio is like aging the way she is, where she looks better as she gets older. I mean, I think there's numerous things, but when I'm just like, well, she's who I'm looking at, and like, you know, there is this idea of like, well, I like her, so let me see, let me see her beauty, and but that also comes with, well, if I'm, not, if I'm like, well, okay, whatever, give me my life or whatever back. You know what I mean? Give me my energy or whatever. Because if you're just taking it to like beat me over the head, why would I share that with you? You seem really, anyway. It's like, not fair to me, but it's also just like, well, why would I? It's like, let me find someone else. How about myself? So I'm like, I'm working inward, but I guess looking outward, because like, well, I'm not just looking for myself, and like I know who Yahweh is, and so I'm like, I love Yahweh, I have faith in Yahweh, but Yahweh's not a woman to whatever. However, I think he can provide infinite of that. That's my point. Infinitely quantitatively better and qualitatively, well, what I my part of my point with this, like, I like this idea of this story of kind of them connected to me, but similarly, I don't like the idea of what story has been presented, and like there seems to be something being shown to me that I have a feeling that behind the scenes, I mean, it can go either, everything's fake and it's just to make me feel uncomfortable, which still is pretty shitty and wrong, or, um, you know, and that like, and that's the optimistic side of things, and then, or, yeah, it's like behind the scenes is like way more. I wouldn't want to know what's going on. I mean, Yahweh knows, and probably part of me actually literally just knows everything. I mean, I'm not kidding that there's probably one of my personalities or alters or whatever just as knows, right? But maybe similar to the one that whatever happened like a few, I don't even know if that's like who knows, but like when I'm doing, there's times I feel like I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was like, there's something when you're like, it's like, I think it was Sean Ryan podcast with Mr. Ballin, and he's talking about a grenade like coming over, and he's seeing it in slow motion, and like something activates in his brain, and it's like everything's just in slow mo, like it literally, like you become hyper aware and stuff, and it's like, that kind of happens from time to time. It almost feels like Wanted, the movie Wanted from 2008 with Angelina Jolie, and she like, and Professor Charles Xavier, new Professor Charles Xavier. I guess he's not really new now. He's been Charles Xavier for like 10 years, but or over or longer than that. But in any instance, like when he has the panic attacks, it's like a moments of hyper awareness. It's not really like a panic attack, but because he's just in a regular life, it's like he's hyper aware of like just regular life stuff. Whereas like when it's going on with me, I'm aware that I know that I'm in a battle, like I'm in a fight for reality, in like the literal eternal struggle between good and evil, and like, well, not between good and evil, between Yahweh and adversary or adversaries. But ultimately, the only way you can come close to Yahweh, I think, is if you put someone up as like the adversary, like the devil, the Satan, right? There has to be someone who is like the most high bad guy in order to even come close to contending, and they got to use all sorts of tricks, including like legal tricks and like the empire of man to like lock Yahweh down. And I would just suggest lock me down. And like part of this is just like me fighting my way to that character and then killing him. And it's like a game. It's literally what it's like the game Diablo, right? Actually, where you go into the dungeon and you're like, you fight all these lower level baddies until you get to the main bad guy. You maybe fight some bosses on the way, then you get to Diablo and you kill Diablo. Okay, well that's like, you know, at least Diablo 2 was like that, if I remember right. But in any instance, just take it as that, whatever I said, even if Diablo is not exactly that. Diablo is pretty much that I remember, but I haven't played like the new one, so I don't know if that's changed at all. But in any instance, and I was even thinking actually today about World of Warcraft, and I was like, this is why it's like the idea of Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio is nice because I like the idea of like, okay, I think Alessandra Ambrosio is the sexiest elf lady I've ever seen, and I want her to be my elf queen, and like so I kind of mirrored that in me because I like elves, and like the elf, like the elf, what is it? Not night elf. Yeah, the night elves in World of Warcraft. Because I was about to say blood elves, but those weren't added until later. The night elves, I had when I was playing WoW. I never like maxed out or anything. Though I did play, I think beta vanilla WoW, like way early on, before it actually came out, and so I was playing WoW then and stuff, but I never like I don't like grinding in games. I like doing solo things, and so like when you had to guild up and like do all this, and like even when I was playing Matrix Online, I was part of a fact or was it a faction, a guild, Furious Angels, and so even the angel stuff with like, okay, well I got I feel like I'm a Furious Angel versus like whatever the Victoria's Secret Angels are, unless they're furious and they're, am I Furiosa? Am I Max? Am I Furiosa? Okay, this is just me making more puns and stuff. But um, you know, long story short, I was thinking of Alessandra, and she like I'm mirroring her, and I guess Anja kind of too. But where it's like, so I'm the elf, and but my little pet thing that goes and attacks for me could be Anja, and she can be like my dog that goes and attacks things for me, and like that would be cool. That would be a cool relationship. And and maybe as a tiger. So it's like it's a combination because I get a tiger dog. It's like Alessandra's the tiger, Andra's the dog. Okay, and it's just me. It's just fun. I mean, I'm not like, and part of so I started this all to say with what did I start this all to say? Uh, I this is what it was. I was like mean to Anja for no reason. I don't like being mean. Like maybe that's actually the thing. It's like, well, when I'm mean, it's like, it's like you're not the nice guy, you're the whatever, and it's like, okay, well, whatever, I can be both. And you get the good hand or the bad hand, or a good hand and bad hand, something like, you know what I mean, like the the open graceful hand or like the strong hand, right? That would also be like why the left hand for me. It's like I'm having to force grace out of people. It's not grace then, but that would also mean my strong hand is really fucking strong if I gotta force it out of like everybody. But probably Jesus sets it. The right hand of the one on the throne. I think that's the idea of it. But in any instance, really what this was about, what I was thinking of is like I didn't need to be that mean to Anja. I mean, I didn't mean to be. I'm really angry at the situation. I think she and her mom should be too. Like if we are connected, they would be. Like it would be mirrored, and that I would suppose that would be why she would be willing to be my dog, because she feels like she did wrong me and has like her existence literally is a wrong on me. Similarly, like Alessandra maybe feels like it is not just, it is like a mirror, and that it is, she has wronged me and maybe she like would make it up to me or something. Um And it's like, that's in the least, that's that idea thing that I'm saying of like, okay, well, if there's something nice that I'm not being shown behind the scenes, because there is just stuff where it seems like her posing with dudes and like it's just uncomfortable stuff. And like whatever she has done in her past, I don't. It's not that I don't want to know. It's that I don't want to know while she's like far away. I can't reach and like have her. It feels like I'm just being hit over the head with like bad decisions that she's made instead of just like, okay, well, you could just be here telling me that while we're like, friendly, and then it'll be less, problem. Like, I think less problematic. Like, I'd be like, oh, okay, come here. Like, bend over, get over my knee, and I'll spank you, and we'll like move on. But I mean, actually, well, like if it's in that instance, I would feel less venomous because it feels like less of a thing that's being dangled at like literally on the other side of the world from me in order to make me feel uncomfortable specifically, which is exactly how she's being used. And also, that's my point of like Yahweh is killing in the sharpest, most painful way possible, like where it'll spring up pretty quickly and you won't have a chance to like undo it. If that is literally what this is and there's no it's just to fuck with me, everybody in any hierarchy that's allowing it, funding it, whatevering it, any organization around it, everybody in that and the people that they love most, first the people they love most, then them, like Yahweh is striking out at you in ways that are just so sharp and it's just knock down the entire house of cards at once while the events of Revelation go on. And it's just like at that point you're done. So even if it feels like I'm being locked down now, it doesn't take much to like knock it down if it's the right, if it's done in the right way. And I have no doubt Yahweh knows how to do that and is doing that. And this isn't good for the people that are trying to fuck with me specifically. Like you have not just forfeited your life, you forfeited like literally perfection and infinite paradise for burning torture. Cause like I am gonna make sure you go in it in the same way that I am, for sure Yahweh is. And he 100% clearly exists when you see all this stuff going on around me. Else, then I have superpowers and like what the fuck are you doing? Because you haven't seen any of the power because it just seems to be slowly growing on purpose. That's how this works. Okay, so I'm just like making these points because I can think it here and I can whatever, but I just like it's it is does seem reasonable to just say out like what the fuck are what are people doing that they're like it just seems like beyond me. Like no amount of money would get me to do that kind of stupidity. You know what I mean? Like where it's like you're literally forfeiting. Like, okay, you get it hypothetically, you get $1 billion. You get it for 20 years. You give up infinite paradise where like in a place money doesn't matter. You have more like literally more of everything than you could ever hope for or imagine. You don't die. You feel no issues regarding like sadness or like guiltiness or any it's just you're good, you're happy, it's perfection. Like I can't describe it any more than it's like perfection. It's literally the kingdom of heaven. And so you give that up for like even $1 billion or $100 billion, $1 trillion, like a lot of power, earthly power for a short amount of time. Infinite is like mind-bogglingly long. You can't even like if I was like, all right, but you get the other thing, so you get that for 20 years, or you get you know what I'm describing the paradise thing for, even if I'm like, okay, you get that for 50 years. Now think 100 years. Now think 1,000 years. Now think 10,000 years. Like I'm trying to make it more like contemplatable. Now think 100,000 years. Like 10 of those. Think that 100 years that we just talked about, or 50 years, and then to double that. Okay, then take the 100 years and multiply that by 10. Okay, you get what I'm saying? Like trying to make it like understandable. That's what you're forfeiting for like 20 years of like having some money and like not even having real power, but in any instance. I just want to make that clear. That being said, kind of this whole thing is like I just felt bad because it's like even if Anja is the trap and like everything she's doing is to hurt me and like make me feel bad and lesser than, and like to cause me grief and pain, and like while I'm already going through legitimately pain that like is incredible. It is an incredible amount of pain. I can't put into words how much, like, I do a bad job articulating how much it hurts. It just hurts a lot. One way I've been thinking about describing it is like, okay, from the side of my knee, like, you know, in here, like if you took a drill and you like drilled in through the back of here into like through the other side, and then made me like walk with that going on, or like press through, like try to flex in on it, it just hurts a lot. I've described it in a number of ways, and I feel like none of them really does a good job explaining. And it also changes from day to day. I mean, it's leg pain, but it feels like, maybe as it's connecting in different places, it's like I'm getting different sensations in different places. So it's just uncomfortable. But generally, in the same, that one area is like, there's always some kind of pretty strong pain. And so, but I don't need to. My point with this is, even if she's doing all that while I'm going through that, and like, even if she's evil and like not a good person, and this is all like, it really is just designed to hurt me and like, you know, humiliate me and mock me and whatever. I I don't want to be like, I don't like being that kind of asshole. Now I can feel it and I can have those ideas and be like angry situationally, and I can feel the venom in me, but like, and like, my point with this is like, well, I you saw what happened, and I just get really like overly angry and lash out, and like they could be the nicest people to me, and like something could be preventing them from coming. And like, what is, that's not going to be good. Like, I would feel really shitty if that's going on, and so something's preventing me from coming, and then like coming to see me, them, if I'm in their shoes, and then I'm just beating her over the head with, whatever points. Like, the thing about her dad, like, I mean, it doesn't feel good to see the face of someone that you feel like has impregnated your wife or you or something. And like, it does feel like Alessandra tries to like, it feels like it's like hammered in, right? And I think that's the intent. That being said, I think some of this is like training to like, after a certain point, I'll never have to deal with it. But I do think some of it's like, well, you should be able to deal with it, even if it's not fair, even if it's not right, even if like she's evil and she's like the enemy of everybody and all mankind and stuff. That doesn't mean I can't be like condemning of how she's acting, they're acting. It doesn't mean I can't like point out what I think. Like, okay, if you're Jezebel, I think you're gonna die. I think you're gonna die very publicly, humiliatingly, infinite burning torture, and like you're the bad guy in all history. Like I get out of this as like the good guy with given infinity. Like Yahweh literally does make up for it. It's just like, the human mind is so like weak in this state. Like it's hard to imagine like, oh, blah blah blah. But I can imagine. That's part of also why it's like I do believe, and I can't imagine beyond this. And like, okay, they're both like, they're beautiful women, a beautiful mom and a beautiful daughter, but like they're shitting, breathing, pooping, peeing, farting, um, eating imperfect things, and maybe pets, maybe my pets, maybe there's someone else's pets, and they're beating me over the head. I'm not gonna stress out about it. I mean, maybe I might stress out about it because it's venom, right? But like as I'm healing up, I think at a certain point it'll just be a non-factor anymore. But and I think the whole point was they were supposed to like, get me attached, and then whatever. That was the whole thing that happened with Stephanie Jewston. So instead of like repeating that, I'm trying to analyze it and figure out how I can engage it. Like even today, I was working on the Alessandra Ambrosio mix, and I'm like working a little on hers, a little on Anja's, a little like thinking about both. Like, what do I want to do? Some of it's like I don't know. I don't know where they stand. I don't know where I stand with them. Like I don't know what this situation exactly is, and I have so many ideas. Like I was like, well, maybe I want to do a mini mix, or maybe I want to do a like this is what I have thus far. Actually, maybe I just show that right now because like it seems like a reasonable thing to do. So I'll just pull this up and be like, you can see what I'm currently thinking, I guess. But I mean, it's not that it matters. I'm just working on it, and like these are the tracks that I've put in. So just keep that in mind. Let me find you a cool one. This is definitely a cool one. Okay. Also, there was no earthquake today, but I'm not really worried about it because I definitely said if there's an earthquake, whatever, and then there was an earthquake the next day, and like the biggest earthquake in 140 years in New York. So I think that's a little bit of humor from Yahweh. I'm not really stressing about the earthquake thing because I can clearly see that Yahweh controls things and is like an eternal spirit, and I'm cooperating. You get it? So it's like at a certain point, I'll just have so much power I can act on my own to exert out or do whatever. But I think it's actually more intelligent to listen to Yahweh because he clearly knows more than me. So, and it's not a person, right? It's an infinitely powerful spirit. So, but this is where I'm at with this. You can see a lot of orange theme. um, it's funny how that works out. Is this what this is gonna be in the end? I don't know. I just put this together and I'm like, I like, I like these tracks. Some of it's like, well, do I do one where it's just like bangers? Do I do one that's like heavy? Like I want to make a heavy one, or I want to make a like a dance one, or I want to make like a really kinky kind of funny, silly one, or it's more dancey and less heavy, or do I want to make a drum and bass one, or like yeah, I want to make a bunch of different ones, kind of. I'm not sure where I want to go with this, and that's kind of even why I was like, well, let me ask them, what do they want, or what is do you have any ideas? It does seem fun to me to get some like feedback, like actual feedback. That's just like would be a new way of doing this that I haven't done with anybody else. That would also be like, hey, you got a more personalized one. It's a more personal relationship. I don't think I'm gonna do this with everybody. You know, I want them as my dogs, my closest friends that literally sleep with me and at my feet and like are 100% loyal. That's also I'm like, well, I think they're a trap because if they were dogs, they would be here already. You know what I mean? Like they would. Oh, wait. Let me go back because I just realized it wasn't showing. So this is what it looks like currently. I mean, it's not close to finished. It's not even. This was just some ideas that I was thinking, but you know. So okay, before I get more into this. The thing with Anja is like I don't think she's ugly. That was like just me being mean and venomous for no reason. But I also do see like her father, or like are there multiple of them? I literally can't tell at this point. But it seems like there's probably just one, and it's more that Stephanie juiced in like too much venom, too much poison, right? Too much poison. Um, but you know, I was also thinking about, by the way, doing like little mini mixes, a little mini mix, a little Anja Ambrosio mini mix. Um, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'm just like, is this where it's gonna end? No, I don't know. I kind of went through these the other day, but I'm still just deciding. I Like I don't know where I want to go with this. You know, I just want to have fun with it. And actually, I want to make something really like I want to make something better than the Maggie Moon mix. Uh, just as I think the Maggie Moon mix was something better. Well, I don't know about better. Is that objective? Can I say they're objective? Something about it where it's all fits together better. But I just want to make some good art that's like really, you can see the tracks in this. If they're friendly and these tracks are like, on point, well, cool. If I'm daddy, okay, well, cool. But then it doesn't seem like they're acting like it. That's the issue. It's like, okay, are you my dogs? Like, actually? Well, why are you not acting like my dogs? Because if you're my dogs, you would come when I say come. And, they haven't come yet, so, and I want them to come a lot. But yeah, um, I just, you know, again, I don't want to be. This is kind of what I meant by like a kinky funny one, where it's just like silly and kinky and yeah. Hey, Ambrosia instead of Ambrosio. Yeah. Oh, left hand free. So I get my left hand for free, but I gotta pay for the right side. Yeah, I don't think that's how that works. It feels like I. This is all yours anyway. And this is the music that they used in the whatever, like whatever. So you know, hey, dung eater, all the poop stuff. In fact, in my storm pictures, I shared some. Like, is there anything interesting for today? Oh, hey, my Dixie Wrecked invited me to join their podcast, and Annabella Landa move with me. Um, hold on. Is there anything to show in here that's worthwhile? Maybe, probably. Oh, I put up some stories. Yeah, I'll show it in a second. But like you know, dung eater. Like I've talked about the poop stuff, and like, that's just a weird stuff that like would make people feel uncomfortable. Uh, Not us feel uncomfortable. I mean, it'll be weird and stinky and odd. But it's stuff that don't do it with anybody else. That kind of thing. You're my dogs. Hey, catwalk. But yeah. Um, But part of my point is like, well, if they're a trap, they've probably already done it with somebody else, and like, they aren't my dogs, and it's just to get my hopes up. And part of my point is like, it seems like with them, like, with these whole people in the first place, the Nicolations, it's the idea of like one of the things that empowers them is like building up hope, and then like never specifically never providing, like never bringing that thing into fruition. Which like, okay, I mean, I get it, I guess. I mean, I get that that's your tactic. I don't think it's just going to work over and over and over again. But at some point, I can prove a pattern and, kind of show, like, hey, you guys are being shitheads. That's even something, I guess, I should maybe point out here. This is taking longer than expected. And, like, yo. So recently I made it's a video. It's in 360p, and right? And it's a 4-hour video. This is taking, well, it isn't. So recently I made these videos 360p. But like when I had originally uploaded this one, the Alessandro Ambrosio's Laughing Octopus, you can see that it says it's in all qualities, like 4K is complete, but when you actually go watch the video, and I had even sent it to her. I wanted to use this one for something, so I'm trying to like actually get it to upload. If I have to split it into multiple pieces, I'll just do that. It's not. If I have to split it in multiple pieces to get it to work, I can do that. It's not an issue. So, I mean, I'll make it work, is what I'm saying. But here's the one that I was talking about where it's like, they're dogs or whatever, rapist dogs. Yo. I'm clear. I even look angry when it starts off, right? And I'm wearing a black shirt. I don't know. I was just feeling venomed. And I feel like some of it is the venom, like they're striking me with venom. So like, what do you expect? But I'll also say this. So like in Batman, right? In Lego Batman, and I think I could find Anja like wearing like clown makeup because I think a lot of girls like the idea of being Harley Quinn. Which okay, I mean I get it. I like the idea of being just a Joker. Uh,
Okay, BRB, guys. I'm gonna go defuse that.
wait, not that one. This is arguably the best Batman movie in a while.
Tonight on Metropolis in Focus, we have our favorite star, Superman.
What up, Gotham?
Superman, tell me, how do you feel about your recent banishment of Zod to the Phantom Zone?
Yeah, look, Piper, it's complicated, okay? Zod and I have had some pretty epic battles, over the years, and I don't believe I would be Superman without fighting Zod.
See? Superman gets it. Why can't Batman?
Check it out, guys. I built a CD rack. Ta-da!
And how am I?
See, I guess the idea of Anja being Lego Harley Quinn, it's attractive, or not just her, Alessandra and Anja, but Anja seems to really be playing into the dog thing. So okay.
I'm supposed to get Batman's respect when I'm working with these human farts.
Boo boo, look at me. You're too good for Batman. He needs to open his eyes and see what it feels like when you're not around.
And I just need someone to like talk me up like this, and that I could say really mean things too, but that she's still like kissing my butt and being way nicer to me than she ever should be. But I guess if I do feel the way that I feel, and she's making up for how I feel that she's made me just by existing, then okay, yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, Piper, I couldn't put Zod in a regular prison, right? He's Zod. Come on. No, he needed to go someplace where he could never harm Metropolis ever again. The Phantom Zone.
Ah, yes, the notorious space jail that houses the greatest supervillains of all time.
They got like the sickest baddies up there. They got like this guy and her.
I'll get you, my pretty.
This ain't nothing about him.
Wingardium Leviosa.
And these guys.
I'm starting to get an idea, Monkey Face.
Okay, so that's kind of what
I'm starting to get an idea, Monkey Face.
These guys.
I'm starting to get an idea, Monkey Face.
Oh, come on. So like my point with this is like, oh well, I said she looked like a Neanderthal. Well, did I? Yeah, I said her dad did. She looks like her dad. Uh, am I her dad? No, I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I look like handsome stone monkey. What is it? It's the Monkey King. That's just one of the names of Sun Wukong, right? And I'm just making a joke about it. Like one of his titles is like like handsome stone monkey or something like that. Like handsome Monkey King, formerly known as Stone Monkey. It's something like if you go in the thing. But my point with it is like, oh, I get it. So I guess Andra is Harley Quinn. I mean, I'm sure. I feel like probably the point is that some Joker-like characters using her to like, steal the IP from me. But if I prove out the IP is mine anyway, and I just kill everybody, then it's whatever. I mean, kill everybody through like means that only Yahweh could do, so that it's like, well, you've been judged by God, so and me, but I'm on the throne of Yahweh, and so I guess I would be that. But yeah, anyway, so I guess instead of monkey face, Neanderthal face or caveman face or cave woman, I was thinking about that, and it's like, okay, that's just where this IP comes from, or that maybe I think she looks like a monkey or something. I don't know. I don't think she looks like a dog, though. She seems to want to be one. If you want to be one, cool. For me, if you don't want to be one, I mean, if you want to be one for someone else, it seems like it's my idea, but seem to be beat over the head with my own ideas anyway. So I mean, it'd just be par for the course. Par for the curse. Yeah, par for the course. Um. So whatever. I was thinking about that, and I was like, I kept thinking of the monkey face thing, and I was like, oh, well, I guess it all fits. She does seem to want to be clown lady, Harley Quinn like lady, and try to make me into the Joker, or Mr. J. Is we want to make things into letters. That's the Yod. Also, when Superman's talking about Zod, and it's just the Z is a Y, like this is YZ, so or this is ZY or whatever. It's just Superman's a knockoff, not Yahweh. You get it? But okay, he's the Shin, and it's the Shin bet, but they just not at the level of Yahweh. So yeah. Okay, I guess we'll look at this because I made some silly. You probably actually have to watch them on my Instagram, so let's do that. Oh, come on. I think it made me change it today. It said my password was it's like on websites, and it's like, I know, but okay, I can change the password. I'm being watched in a way that like I'm literally boxed in. There's no, like I can change my password all the times that I want, and I feel like it's not going to make any difference. Like if I'm just completely boxed in already. So it's like, I might as well just be comfortable instead of instead of stress about it. Like some are going to be harder to do anyway, and like I don't think that's the method that's going to defeat me. So I don't think people are even trying really to make it like to make that be the thing. Do I actually have to go in and change this though? I thought I did. Hold on. Did my account get deleted? Oh. So I went to my account and it's not there. And then they're posting this. So it's like this is what I mean. I'm pretty sure they're watching right now. And this is just to like psychologically abuse me, make me feel shitty. Does it? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel good. I think this feels really rapey and evil, but it is what it is. I can't stress over people acting rapey and evil to me. I can point it out to other people and say that it's wrong, and like I can act wisely and in love, and I think Yahweh will act judicial in his action. So I think this is really shitty. It doesn't feel good. It's like, and I guess maybe it has something to do with, you know, maybe they reported my account. Maybe they, I don't know. I don't know. Is my account still up? Let's see. Well, my account's still up, so I guess maybe it just got. I got a message on my. I don't know if it was on my phone or maybe on my. Let me check. Hold on. It's on my. It says a security recommendation. My account's been compromised. I changed one of my passwords earlier, so I think I'm getting them confused. But I'm just gonna try to sign in, and like, okay, someone changed it. No users found. I guess they've stolen my account. So, okay. I feel like if I'm going to do this right now and they're taunting, like literally you saw it looks like because that was 2 minutes ago, I'm assuming they've stolen my account. And that's what I'm trying to get at. But like, it's partially also probably because I've proven out that yes, in fact, Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio like set themselves like a trap and that someone's using them to psychologically abuse me and it's like really fucked with my life in a way. Like people have robbed me and people have caused me problems. I also want to point out, like, I don't know if you noticed on this, he's wearing a Disney shirt. Is that the Disney Assassins thing that I brought up in like the Yo TV thing? Like someone is paying these people to be, I mean it feels like it, to just be like psychologically abusive and evil towards me. So like I'm assuming this has to do with like and like, this whole point is like, well, I'm not dad. Oh wait. Hold on. This is what I've been pulling up. So like something is exerting the resources to be abusive, but my whole point is like this is why their family, like this is why Yahweh would put their family under threat of like, hey, your grandma, your grandpa, your all these people, you're being really rapey and evil. There's an E on her shirt. I don't know. I think it's trying to make me feel like EI. I don't know. I can get all sorts of stuff. It just feels like they're trying to get over little messages because of what's on the shirts and stuff. And that she's got her tongue out, and I've like called them out for being shitheads. And like, it just, the whole point of him was that Alessandra has used him to like abuse me psychologically because she doesn't seem to like really care about this guy. I mean, I guess kind of, but my guess is he's just a gay dude who's being really rapey and evil, and they're trying to assert over whoever. And like, she wears the cross for the reason of just trying to like make me feel shitty. Like, that's it. I don't get anything else from it. It doesn't feel good. And like, I think this is really rapey and evil, and lots of people have died over this. And I think lots of people will continue to die over it because they aren't making, they're just acting really shitty and like, I don't know, the decisions that they're making, I think, are really pissing Yahweh off to the point where he's going to make a point that's so obvious, he's going to force some change from them. And either they're going to be like Alessandra and Anja are going to be forced to be my dogs, or like, they're just all going to die off. Which, you know, kind of like what I was saying. Like, well, if they're the bad guys and they deserve it, okay, man, I can't like, I'm not going to stress. But let me focus on getting my account back here. Kind of doing this in real time. I'm like thinking about a lot of different things. Hacked Instagram account, maybe? I mean, is it hacked or disabled? I don't know. Uh, I'll just go with hacked. Mostly because it's still up, but I feel like if it was gonna be, hold on. I mean, they didn't put up new stuff, so I would assume maybe it was just disabled. I feel like the timing on all this just, it's like everything always, the timing I feel like works to make me feel really uncomfortable, but I'm just like, currently, I'm just pretty chilled out. So, it's maybe less, Like, that's why I think they did something. I think they changed the email address. But that it's linked, literally it's linked to my account, right? Okay, so hold on. This is all really very stressful, to be honest. I think that's the point. I mean, actually. New password that isn't my current password. Mm, I don't know, I guess you do this for a moment. I'll mirror in a second. I find it interesting that this has all happened right now. I mean, like, oh, put it back on this. Okay, well, cool. I'm back into my account, I guess. But I would also suggest, like, I don't think that the timing on all this is random in the sense, like, I think it's meant to be put in my way. Like, maybe they posted this a while ago and like people are just, I don't know. I I can only focus on whatever, but I can promise that, like, hey, whatever obstacles are being put in my way and however they're being used to do this, it's hurting a lot of people, and it's pissing me off and it's pissing Yahweh off. Now, what do? I give it to Yahweh. Sometimes you see me express myself in certain ways, but I do think the point is to be kind of rapey and mean and like make me feel bad. And like I guess this would kind of do the thing where I'm like, well, she doesn't actually want to make up for it. She's like she cares about her own like biological father more, though, if her mom did, she wouldn't have done that. But I'm pretty sure he's just a gay dude, and like some of this is just wrapping up the, well, is he a gay dude? He's an abusive dude, right? I mean, it feels like a number of gay men have tried to assert themselves over my sexuality in a really rapey way. That's actually what Sodom and Amor is about. The word Sodom is literally volcanic, and the idea is that they were trying to rape someone. I mean, rape the family a lot, and they can't get to him, and so they, well, they couldn't get to him. Like the angels, they wanted to rape angels too, literal angels. So, and it was like a bunch. It was just a whole crowd of people, right, led by the men of the city. And so, um, it stands more of a story about rape than anything. It just turned into a different thing because gay bashing Christians are. Most of them are closeted themselves, so whatever. I don't. You don't see me doing that, and that's also why, like, these men who have done this, it's like I think it pisses the other gay men off because it's like this would be a reason. Like you're trying to make an example out of the one on the throne of Yahweh. Like you would literally like put in jeopardy the gay men everywhere. And I'm pretty sure he's a gay dude pretending to be straight. It just like I get that vibe, which is like okay. I mean, I personally I don't like liars. I think it's like you shouldn't be lying about who you are, but also it just feels really rapey that a bunch of gay men are trying to like assert over, or like I'm sorry, a bunch of men, because I don't think it's not so much even about them being gay, and I don't want to say I'm sorry, but I'm like, well, I understand this. Gay men are like already feel like they're at like oh, people are out to get them. It's like does it ever look like I've been anything but like friendly, like actually and kind? That's what Jesus would say to do, like you know. But yeah, it just feels really shitty that that's what this is. And like, the whole point again seems to be like the whole point of this again does seem to be, this is what I was looking at. Um, it does seem to be like, oh, I'm not her dad. Well, that does suck. That's why I'm like, yeah, it would be reasonable that seemingly you're more connected to me than them, and like all the content and everything that they're making is just clearly directed. Like, if this was just a picture on its own, there would be no. Mm, it would be like, okay, maybe there's been a point being made, but it's whatever, right? But the fact that it's like over years and they're still focused on me, it means there's something special about me that they're trying to take away. And that they don't like that I'm happy still. They don't like that I'm like, I'm reasonably functioning under this really fucking evil situation where, like, you know, specifically Alessandra Ambrosio and this guy have like weaponized their kids in a way to like hurt me. And like, you know, they don't, it just makes me feel really shitty. And like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it feels like their existence, like both Anja and Noah's existence, is literally just a thing to like steal my happiness. And like, unless her and like Alessandra and Anja are actually my dogs, then I just feel like they're rapists, and it like doesn't feel good. And I mean, it is kind of like I don't want to. I don't want to look at his face, not because like I'm sure it'd be fine, whatever, if I just saw him, whatever. I wouldn't have an issue. But the fact that it feels like he raped children into me, like you know, like literally for Alessandra, she could be like God Empress of all existence, but that whatever has used this guy to like put children into her, it's like, I think you're Jezebel, actually. Like, I think you've killed yourself, your family, like everybody. You are condemned as rapists in front of everybody. So, and maybe they're making points. I just take everything being points being made just to, I don't know, make me feel shitty. But I'm not going to stress too much about it in this video more because, like, one of the things is, it's just like, I normally don't open Instagram until I'm ready to go like sit there and like go through it for the night. But like the timing also. Notice it says 15 minutes. It was like a minute old. It was as I'm making this video where I'm like describing this that um that like she posted this. So it just feels really intentional. But okay, I don't know what just happened because it was just in my account. So hold on. Oh, and then so I go to the next thing and like I'm literally I'm just like getting onto my account, right? I'm trying to get back into my shit. And then it says Cuzzy and me. And again, it feels like the point here is that like as it seems like people are trying to make me feel like these women are having sex with my cousins and stuff and are being like used to like abuse me through my family. And I think the holler jack thing with Stephanie Justin, after all this time, when I've literally talked about it in the video where like the volcano explodes when I explode in anger, it's like proving out this point of whatever. And in the video where I talked about in the last one where it's like it looks like they're trying to suggest that Anja and Alessandra are giving a blowjob to someone in the background behind him, and like they're trying to suggest that in this. Now, I think the point is like, well, this is you're the guy in the background. It's like, no, I'm here in Houston. You're wherever the fuck you are with your dad who like raped away my reality, and like it just makes me feel really shitty. If you were my dog, you would be here, but you're not. You're just some shithead teenager who's like trying to make me feel shitty, and like the way the rules of this society operate, I can't even defend myself publicly. Even if I'm, even if you see insane stuff around and it's pretty much proven this is literally giving people cancer, and like and like I'm literally developing superpowers and shit. Like the legal system here in the United States, which is really kind of fucked and broken and arbitrary, is protecting them and their abuse around me, which is why I think in Revelation, the thing about 4 billion people plus dying, I literally think it's because like how long this situation has gone on that it has become like a public situation where people are doing this, and like, it just all this seems really fucking evil to me. And like, what do they think they're getting one up on God? Do they think is she offering her cousin, Cuzzy plus me? Remember that it even looks like the oh. And my head goes to pessimistic place, right? Does that make sense? Why wouldn't it? People haven't treated me right my entire life. Why would they change now? Why would all of a sudden they'd give me good thing? Oh, because they're dying and their family's dying, or like they can see that all that. I don't think that gets people to actually like do whatever. I just am like, okay, here's the consequences of you acting like rapey shitheads. But I do think the like plus thing, right? Anja plus fur, right? Cuzzy plus me. So anyway, this all feels really rapey and evil. Maybe I'll put this up on YouTube, but it feels like something's trying to like fuck with the processing on it on videos where I'm actually like making points to defend myself. But whatever. I mean, like, I'm not gonna be. I don't know. It just seems to be a consistent enough theme. But anyway. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So remember that I. No. Anyway, um, I'm guessing either she's Jezebel or they're the two witnesses, and something is actually going to force them because so many people have died around this situation, and they're just acting kind of like abusive shitheads. That I'm like, is that venomous to say? No, that part is literally just what they're doing. Like whether or not this is supposed to be me in the background or not. Um, and I think the left hand is the guy in the background is Andres suggesting that like is that his left hand or his right hand? You know what I mean? That they're just trying to suggest shit to make me feel worse while I'm already feeling bad from the thing that's literally envenomed me and crippled me since my childhood, since I was younger than them and all of this, and I never chose to be a part of this. The Stephanie Houston thing was something I seemingly fell into, like stumbled into, right? Um, and like the thing that's protecting me is God. Like she's wearing a cross, but she wears a cross to mock Jesus, not because she believes in Jesus. Or it's like a TA joke, or a tits and ass joke, or a TA technical analysis joke, or some rapey bullshit like that. Like I don't I don't think these are good people. Like I just don't, based on how they actually act. I can hope this, that, or the other, but like in reality, I don't think they're good people. And like, you know, I think also me expressing this, like, if I just kept this all in, it would feel really shitty. The fact that I have like I can put this Oh, a real cat lover. It's in black and white. Cat standing on a cow. I mean, here's my whole point. If she actually cared, she'd be here, or her mom would be here. Neither of them have come. Neither of them have messaged me. It seems like everything they do is to make me feel uncomfortable, right? While goad me on and give me hope and stuff. So here's my hope that this ends. Something either forces them to like come be my dogs, or something like their Jezebel, Yahweh kills Alessandra, or Lucilda is Jezebel. They all die, and like I can move on, and it's like no one would ever fuck with me ever again like this, right? Especially not like you couldn't rely on like, oh, I'm a teenage girl or I'm a kid. It's like Yahweh didn't care. This has hurt a lot of people that you've done this. It's hurt my family. It's hurt my family significantly that you guys have done this in this capacity. And like, it just seems more of this like, I'm not even kidding. Like when I talk about the Disney assassins and he's wearing the Disney thing on his shirt, I mean, I think it's partially because maybe I don't know, did I piss Disney off or are they trying to steal away the Yoda IP or some shit? And it's just like, you guys are shitheads. Like whoever's doing this. If not, I mean, maybe Disney should force them, because like they're just being assholes. Oh, I don't know why I'm going on this one. But I'm gonna try to not stress so much on it. I mean, am I? Well, I'm calm, but it doesn't feel good. It's just the reality. But I also think it doesn't feel good to them that they're just shitty people and they know it. But like they don't get to be good people. I mean, based on everything, like they can pretend all they want, but then when this video exists and it's just the reality of the situation, they're not good people. They're shitheads. They're evil. Like literally, people have died. Innocent people have died because Yahweh has to defend me against these kind of shitty, abusive Stephanie Houston cuckold rape, right? And then like, okay, Stephanie Houston cuckold rape. Well, it seems like maybe that was actually pointed to Olivia Munn because she did it to another woman, right? And so now the women should be like, oh, wait, actually, maybe Matt's got a point. Um, this is why one of the reasons why I think I would have sexual authority, but it is what it is. Um, where am I going with this? Oh, the Disney Assassins thing. Yeah, the one with this one. Literally, this video got me in jail, right? Disney Assassins, right? They lied about this, what was going on in this situation. They threw me in jail. Okay, well, clearly this has been going on for a while, and like, people have been lying to the police, and like the police have been pretty complicit. And it's like my whole point again is like, all right, they're young girls, but at this point they're pretty like in this world of like silently, making some kind of point. They're clearly just complicit in this kind of game, this rapey abuse game where they stay silent and try to put over these points, which again, while I'm dealing with this crippling uh I don't know, venomous strike on the thigh, when they do this kind of shit and it makes me feel bad and uncomfortable, like it's like a poison, right? It's a venom and it makes me angry, but even to pacify it, I have to force the like energy down into the place that it physically hurt. Like I have to force it kind of away from the way I'm like I like when I say energy, I mean it's just like the way I pacify myself. I can feel it in my body and I can feel like the venom of it in my leg and it hurts me. And it's just like they're just doing this cuz they know that it hurts me and they're just abusive shitheads. Like that's all. I mean that's the only thing that I can get from it, that they would still be doing this like this because they've had every opportunity to not do this like this anymore. But I guess maybe they're suggesting that they fucked my family or something, which is like, or some people have. Some of these, whichever of these women, I mean, is Olivia Munn? She got cancer. I have a cousin that went to OU. I mean, I don't know. But you know what I mean? So it does feel really shitty. Um, but I don't know. If that's the case, yeah, clearly that would be why she's Jezebel and they're gonna die. I mean, it's like, what am I? Oh, so this is even what I went to go look at. Actually, I went to go look at on the computer, so let's just do that. Now that I'm not even God damn it. I went through all that and I'm like not even logged in on the computer version. Alright. Okay. Hold on one sec. I'm only logged in on this phone. Also, let me see. This is like I kind of need to do I kind of need to do this right now, right? Because I don't want this to have been like I don't want it to be hacked, right? Just give me a moment still. Here, I mean, whatever. Is this video going on YouTube? I'm not planning on it. Maybe. That wouldn't actually, that literally was not the plan to put it on YouTube. So, and like, I'll also say this. If this is meant to like I don't think it's this actually. But like, there's it's not an impossibility, but if it's like meant to like give me some hope for something, part of my point is like, well, at this point it's like you can either be my dogs or leave me alone. You were either the trap and this shit is just not going to work anymore and I'm about to bring it as out in the open publicly as I can even if it destroys my reality cuz people think this that or the other or you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I'm about to do. So like, they can either I guess stop acting like shitheads and just do what they've been pretending they would do for me this whole time, or like, yeah, then they're clearly Jezebel and the whole point was to act like fucking rapists. Like, it just it's something and like it doesn't feel good, honestly. and the way these people have gone about it is so evil that like they do deserve all the like I think all the evil in the world. Like I think it's a the whole suggestion is that the only way that they would have had this power anyway is like you would have had to have asserted over my wife in order to get it. And like, you know, the whole thing about the whore of Babylon is like the harlot of, you know, the harlot of Babylon, the whore of Babylon. It's like her, you know, the wine of her adultery has gotten everybody like everybody's turned on or horny or like, you know, excited about like this naughty thing that they're doing. And I'm like, all right, can we just get past this? At this point, is it naughty? It's just like you're just acting like rapey shitheads. Like the end of the book is like, okay, I think the person just goes through it while you're acting like rapey shitheads. Then like she's caught out in a really public way. It doesn't work. Whatever the thing is doesn't work. And then they burn her flesh and eat her and like eat her. I mean, it's just like so. I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know why people would be trying this shit because it just seems like I don't know. I guess you'd have to be not very intelligent, and I guess they aren't very intelligent, which is like okay. I don't believe that. Maybe they're too intelligent for their own good, and they think that they can out intelligent God. Like you can out intelligent me all you want. The little bit of wisdom that it takes to just defeat any amount of intelligence is like something that Yahweh gives freely to some simple man like me. Like, you know what I mean? Am I a simple man? Or, Mama once told me. But anyway, how do I change my password on this fucking Instagram thing? Hold on. Yeah, I've already changed my password. How do I change it on here? Delete password, I guess. What a weird, what a weird thing that it has is like, does it have it? Can you see it? Hold on. You can't see it, but I'll just take a screenshot and then you'll be able to see it here. Uh, I also think the whole point of this is they're trying to elicit certain reactions out of me. But again, it's just like the crippling pain that I'm already going through is like more than, oh, I can't take a screenshot of it. I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to take a screenshot. I guess I could just turn the thing around so that you could see it. That's what I'm gonna do. It's like it does seem to be. You see this? I'm sure you'll be able to here. Din my f 0 nov ha Gerdhun. I get things from that, but that's because my brain has been so fucked by this thing. I see code in everything. So it's like I see little codes like people are trying to get things over to me. It feels like or some kind of AI. I mean, since it's all on the computer, I don't put it past just an AI trying to get things over to me. But anyway, Instagram. All right, I think I did it, but then I had to go and like I think I have to change my password. I don't know. Am I still logged in? What happened? Login required. Hold on. What's crazy is like literally in this video, uh, so I just wanna, it's making me log in again, but like she's posting a bunch of stuff. I would assume she's posting stuff to get my attention and to make points to me, because that's what it always seems to be. But it says Baby Luca, and remember in the thing that we looked at on what am I trying to go to? I'm gonna now change it off mirroring this and go back to this, but we had literally just looked at I'm assuming this is like, this is where they get Ultra Instinct from. Or maybe that thing that I was talking about with the grenade. Maybe it's something like this, where it's like, they're trying to make me feel like I'm in danger. I mean, actually, there have been parts to this. I mean, like, the night that. Well, actually, I don't know about the night that Akira Toriyama died, but around that period, that whole, like, preceding period, I was just felt like super under stress by Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio. And so, like, if Yahweh killed Akira Toriyama because they were fucking with me, I mean, that should piss people off because, I do think he made basically this knockoff of Yahweh and a cartoon that everybody likes instead of a world that's better. Just if Yahweh exists and then makes that world, if I'm doing that thing that I'm talking about. But you know, I I like Dragon Ball Z. I always just use it as an example of like, yeah, it's just a knockoff. It's just a knockoff of Yahweh. They just want to call it Yahweh. They just want to call him. Actually, I think Matt Wilkins a monkey. Which okay, cool. I'm like, hey, monkey face, get over here. Where are you? Um, but yeah, the whole thing that I went through the Anja Ambrosio mix, right? And then well, it is in the Anja Ambrosio mix, so I can just go to that, right? But right, Ambrosio, Luca Lush. And then again, so we pull this up. So I like earlier in this video, I literally even said the name of this thing, and then all of a sudden, hey, baby Luca. I mean, do you think it's a coincidence, or do you think that we're so connected and yet they're using that connection for like maybe some company or some group of people, or again, like her dad, who is a man that seemingly has like, I feel like it's rape, but you know, I'm just the one going through it, so whatever. I'm sure that doesn't matter. Ask any woman, I'm sure that doesn't matter. They would say, no, let's ask the man what he thinks it is, right? But considering they seem pretty complicit in all this, because they are. And just honestly, it feels really bad. And I think I would suggest, like, I don't know, force them to be my dogs or whatever. I'm not gonna stop. The idea of stop looking. It's like, no, this literally has already like I've already been damaged literally by this. I need compensation. They're either my dogs or Yahweh's gonna kill them. You know what I mean? Like Yahweh's going to make some point to their family like, hey, she's Jezebel. It says Jezebel's children die. It says like, everything, right? So what is she saying? Oh, it's a baby. I'm gonna have a baby. Like she's like making me feel bad. I don't know. I'm just like, it seems really a lot just to elicit a reaction out of me. Let me log. I gotta log out. Actually, it said a login is required. So give me one moment. Um, Maybe it's not actually. I don't know. But I would also say this. So I think the reason that she's posting this like this and doing this is here. We'll watch it not on the computer. It's just like it's more trouble than it's worth. So we'll just watch it on here. they're tagged under it. So, I do this where I tag them under these pictures. Uh, and then the dogs on the top, they're my seeing eye dogs, is the idea. But it's kind of like, well, they're acting like my dogs, but then they aren't being my dogs. But even the amount that they're doing this has been so much like it's like they're acting like dogs and they're giving me like if they're a trap, they've been too obvious and I've caught them out publicly. If they're so it's like they're still guiding me whether they mean to or not, which I think is like embarrassing for them. So, it didn't what they were trying didn't work. But then if they're my dogs, then cool. I mean, you get it. So, um and it says no one has seen this yet. Except it says 24 people have seen this, right? This is something that it does, and my whole point has been like, well, clearly more people are watching when some of my stories have had people like with hundreds of thousands of followers like it, and it's like, well, I don't have anybody following me with 100,000 followers. I don't have anybody following me, whatever. So how would they have seen my story? They aren't tagged in my story. Unless this artist that I tagged in my story messaged them and was like, "Hey, look at what this is." But even then, it's like, well, then I'm clearly, making like clearly then people are watching me anyway. But it didn't say that that artist had seen me, so clearly this is why I mean, like, yeah, it looks to me like someone's fucking with my accounts. See, this is where, and it's saying login required. I am gonna have to figure something out real fast. So if you'll give me a moment, and I also think the point with this is they're trying to get over points from the, like this corresponds with this one corresponds with this one corresponds with this one. I could be wrong, but it kind of looks like that. That's how I do on my storing pictures, and even when it shifts, it should, they should kind of correspond with each other. But, you know, mm, I don't know. Hold on. Let me figure out more. Whatever this login issue is. I mean, I'll even do this. We'll put this here and just watch the volcano going. It can't load activity because it's saying login as required, but when I change account and then I go back, it doesn't make me log in, which is like, okay, well, what are you doing? Okay, I'm just gonna close the app. I have been logged out. Please log back in. It's just doing this repetitively now. This is why I feel like every fucking thing that can be put in my way is like put in my way. I feel like the dude that when people die, like when people put obstacles, people die. If people put obstacles in my way, Yahweh makes a point to like tell people not to do that. Yahweh generally is making points around me like, leave this person alone. If you've wronged him, make it right to him. If you don't, I'm gonna fucking kill you and the things you love most. Is that what I'm saying? I think that's what Yahweh is saying. But, okay. Um, give me a moment. Is that a pleasant thing that I'm saying? No, I don't like being like this. I just want to enjoy reality. It's just that people are evil and want to steal what's mine. I mean, again, that's even my point with the Alessandra Ambrosio thing is like, she's with anybody and everybody else other than that Jamie dude, if that's even his name. And like, I mean, is this also where the what's that called? Is this where the Metal Gear Solid IP comes from and it's just a hard one to get? Like one of us is Ahab and one of us is Ishmael? Look, if he's Ahab and she dies as Jezebel, cool. they're shitheads. They deserve whatever. There's writing on her and Noah's thing that goes together that makes some kind of message to make me feel bad. Generally, I think that's what it is. In every instance, it's just to make me feel uncomfortable. The whole point of this dude is to make me feel like he raped children into my wife. That is like literal, and it's a venomous snake bite. And they're being empowered by, I don't know, a bunch of money from people wherever, and they're just rapists. That's how they go down in history. And like, did it work? Does it look like it worked? It just made me feel shitty. But I think I get infinity double because of it. I think I get literally double infinity because of it. So, like, I think I literally, as this situation plays out, and I'm pretty sure, okay, if he's Ahab and, you know, like, I will guarantee you that the Bible supersedes Metal Gear Solid as far as, potency. If he's Ahab, then the idea is, okay, then these kids are dead. They literally, it is what I just explained, like they're rapists. They probably were sacrificed to some idols or something. I suppose the idea is that there's like porns of them, and that Alessandra Ambrosio sacrificed them to idols. And I think the idea is he's wearing sunglasses. Noah's wearing it here. It's how these are his, like, his Anja is his sword, right, on his right hand, and Noah's his shield. But if Yahweh kills your children because you're like, it is so evil what you've done and how you've used them, and that you do just come off as like a rapist, well, then it is what it is. And it's like, I'm thinking I have been connected to something that's been crippling me since childhood. And I would assume maybe it actually is Alessandra Ambrosio, and that she is like this person I'm connected to in a way that's like, a soulmate, or a, like, literally she's my wife. And like, I should have 100% decision making authority over who impregnates my wife or wives or whatever. And like, I didn't choose for this guy to do it. And he's making evil, rapey points to me about this. And I'm pretty sure, again, they're just paid off to do it, or, whether Noah's his kid or not. Like, maybe the whole point is like, Anja's his daughter in order to be like some trap to me, and then he gets a boy out of it that he can fuck or something. Like, I just feel like that's how these people operate. So it feels like that's what they're trying to get into my mind. Like, I'm not looking for young boys to fuck. I want hot babes. And like, even Anja's looking like a hot babe here, but like, if she's been used like this, well, then she's just a rapist too. The whole family of rapists, like, lounging. And okay, you make cute faces and whatever, but it's still just really evil. Like, it just is. What, are you gonna tell me it's not? I mean, actually, what, are you gonna actually make that argument? So whatever. And look, he's wearing a Mickey shirt. It's just people trying to be witches and wizards. It's the whole Disney Magic Kingdom thing that I've been talking about recently. Give me a moment to, like, now I'm not connected to one of my other accounts, so it might be. Hold on. No, my email address is still. It still seems to suggest my email address is the same. And I have two-factor authentication on it, so I don't know. I don't exactly know what's going on. I'm assuming there's a war around my reality too, because a bunch of women, and like a bunch of witchy kind of women in coven, like literally a coven of witches, act like, killing someone that they shouldn't have, and then getting caught very publicly doing it. That would literally be a reason to, like, where they would go in suicide mode, because they're dead if they get caught having done what they've done anyway. Like what I've described with him. I mean, is that what it is? He's just fucking the sun. It I don't put it past these people. And my point is like I don't even know if the son is his. That's what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I think it could be another man's son, and like or I guess they could be into incest. I don't know. He could be fucking them both. These like I don't put it past these people, and I just whenever I look at them, I just assume the worst. Why? They haven't given me any reason to assume the best. I mean, I think that should be a good reason why I assume the worst every time, right? So, give me a moment to like figure out, log into my other account. Did they delete this account of mine? No? Okay, what the fuck is going on with Meta right now? It says it can't find my username. Oh, it put a period at the end of it. Hold on. No, it didn't. Look, it literally says I can't find my account, but this is just the account that we're clearly looking at right now. This is also why I'm trying to explain to my mom, like, yeah, there's evil people doing evil shit to me. I can't get you to speak up. I know you have the power to end this. I feel like this is like Mortal Kombat, and it's like my parents are like the elder gods. Or wait, is that, the elders of Yahweh? I'm sure. But they could have, I do believe my mom has the power to end this and is just like not doing it. Why? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I would like to tell you that I know exactly why. I don't know why she wouldn't be. Um, like, look, we'll literally copy this into here, and I'll just try. Now it's gonna send a. Like one of my whole points too is like when people have attacked me and you're saying like just ignore it, it's basically like you're like just let them bully you, like let them bully you out of this virtual space, right? There are virtual spaces, right? Let them bully you out of the virtual space that you're in. It's like no, I don't. I'm not going to. Like I think these are shitty people. I think they deserve all the worst in the world if that's what they're trying to do. And like based on everything that I can see, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. So okay, hold on. I also think though it's good that like I was doing this when they posted this. I mean, it does feel like it's directly posted, like they're watching and like they're posting to see how I react. But like I think it was good because if I had seen it at the window, I would feel compelled to respond in some way. And like I don't really need to, honestly. Um, at least not just directly to whatever point they're making with it. Like, um, I think the response is like how I act. You know what I mean? I don't think this is the reaction that they wanted, and I think that me calling their bullshit out and that like this all does seem really evil and fucked up. It is that. But here's another thing. So this lady followed me, Emily Bella. I mean, is the whole is this all falling apart for them? Is this suggesting that the whole Emily Radakovska thing, getting pregnant, uh, after like right after I made the mix, or no, getting into a relationship with a guy, and this whole thing is like my whole point is like women being in relationships with people that they really aren't connected to in order to like I don't know, make points at whatever because they're angry at the world or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what points people are trying to make because like I, I try to be not like the standard, right? I'm not following the norms of what our society is doing just because it seems really vapid and wasteful and vanity. All this is vanity and that's vanity. Actually, at this point, that's just all it is. Just go read Ecclesiastes and all the stuff that he's saying about vanity, just apply it to what our modern society is. And you don't even have to say the thing, just be like, yeah, modern society, yeah, it's just vanity. Because that's all this shit is. And so it's just vain and kind of pointless. And like we could go to that singularity, the kingdom of heaven, but people want to do anything and everything else, and they don't want someone lording over them, right? Except for the celebrities that they like and the blah 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 blah. So they something is lord over everything, but they're willing to give it to other things, right? And that's kind of my point. Is like, well, it seems like something has paid Alessandra Ambrosio or has like tricked her into giving something that belongs to me just on the basis of what you can see how she seems to be more tied to me than any of these other fucking like men, except she's making points with them to me. That's why this thing seems to revolve around me. I'm the thing that ties all of it together, not anything else, right? That's why it's really fucked. It's like, I think they can steal the power of God or Yahweh away. And like you can see all this stuff that Alessandra posts around like, other deities and shit. And like, you know, whether this is a thing that something is paying her to test me, it's like whatever is paying you, whatever thing is empowering this, Yahweh is killing everybody connected to it. But first, he's starting with the family members that they love most, their closest friends, slowly diseasing them to the point where it's all gonna just domino in one fell swoop, and it's gonna be so like dramatic. That's clearly what it's talking about in uh with this Jezebel character, right? Do I have to even hold on? But yeah, my whole point was: did Emily Radakovska have the kid because Bella wanted to like fuck the kid instead of me or something? Bella Hadid. I mean, these women are going to pretty fucking insane levels to make evil rapey points to me. So don't get, whatever. Don't be like, oh, if I'm saying something that's shocking. You think I'm crazy? Was I saying crazy shit before the Stephanie Houston thing, which is clearly happening? Okay, go fix that, and maybe I'll chill out. But until that point, um, so I think maybe this is some of the reason why. I even think again, this is the reason why Anja's holding a baby, right? In this most recent thing, um, is like because this is my story and pictures from last night, and like, hey, look, I added, so I went in and OMW or on my way, um, or like here, part of my point also is, it would be fucking evil if like yeah they took my semen and Noah's actually my son and then this random dude is abusing my my child, right? And they think it's some kind of fair trade or something. It's like, yeah, that would make you fucking Jezebel. Actually, but okay, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I just don't put it past these people to be like that fucking evil. But if it's his own kid, I don't know. It looks like he's using Noah as a shield anyway, and like that was the point. Is that okay? They made a sword, and it wasn't gonna work based on what was going on with me in 2013. And as I started working towards, like, he is they it goes by Noah Phoenix with an X at the end, right? And it was like he would have been like, I don't know, born right around the time that I was making these mixes, right? These mixes, basically. In fact, it even says the name Alessandro Ambrosio in this fucking mix. So this is why I think that, like, in this Dote Prudantes and one of the tracks that Christian Dior didn't flow. But, so again, Kanye, he seems pretty obsessed with making rapey evil points to me. So I don't put it past, him and Kim Kardashian. I don't put it past any of these, all these other women being fucking Jezebel too. So, I mean, it's just like, whatever. It's one of them. Someone's going to be made an example of. If you're not with me, you're not in the kingdom of heaven. You're in burning torture forever. You killed everybody you love. Like, I'm gonna go to a place where I get infinitely more and infinitely better than you'd ever give me, than you're ever like. I would want, maybe Alessandra. I mean, do I at this point? They're just trying to make mean, shitty points to me. So like, why would I want that around me? Actually, so I don't know. I don't think I'm the bad one in all this. That's actually what I get out of it. I mean, in the sense that like, yeah, oh, he bad. Like, you're gonna get fucked up. Like, Yahweh's gonna fucking destroy everything you love and bless me beyond your capability to imagine how much he could bless me. But in any instance, this Yo X thing, and then they put an X at the end of Noah Phoenix, and it's like, I'm thinking it's like, the idea is like they needed some kind of weapon against me when I made this mix, right? And then it just turned out to be like, I don't know, is it a bunch of gay black men trying to, like, I don't know, make rapey evil points to me? It seems like, it's some bullshit. Again, it's like, are they? Is it really that they're gay? It's just that they're rapey evil men. Like, I think every woman would fucking understand what I'm saying here. Like, I don't really care that they're gay. They're just trying to make evil rapey points to me more than focusing on like enjoying time with women, or especially the women like Alessandra Ambrosio. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna actually enjoy your time. I mean, maybe he did, whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, do I know what's going on with this situation? Not completely. I just don't like the way this is being handled, and I think people are dying to such a degree that like literally they should be forced to either be my dogs or like they're done. They don't get to keep playing this game towards me, and they have to compensate me somehow. And the only way they could compensate me is they're my dogs. They do everything I fucking say whenever. You know what I mean? Like, in the least, I think it would be more fun than like death into infinite burning torture and condemned as rapists and shitheads in front of all history. And it's like, I don't know. I do know, but it's like, do I have to like? I don't think this is anything I haven't already said before. It's just like contextually more poignant. I mean, it just gets contextually more poignant. So, um, oh, so my point with this was like, I added Ambrosio to the dictionary because every time I do it, it redlines it because it didn't recognize the name. So I went and added it, and on my way was, I never added that, but it was in there, and it was AO, and like, you know, a number of things like the O thing that I talked about. Like, it seems like Noah is just NAO or ANO, or it's just a like a YO joke. And again, they're having children as rape jokes. And like, I guess that they put them up in like a nice reality kind of, but I don't think your reality could be that comfortable if the whole purpose of your existence is to be a rape joke to try to steal away my reality, and like you're just a rape on my existence, right? And I also think this is not the best picture of Alessandra Ambrosio, but I still think she's pretty, but I don't think she's pretty on the inside. And I also think like when I see these old pictures of her, it's like, yeah, I don't think she looks nearly as attractive there, actually. Um, Look, pinky ring on her left hand. Um, But I'm also honest. I'm not gonna kiss her ass because I think she's beautiful. I mean, I'll lick her butthole and fuck her in the ass, but I'm not gonna kiss her ass. I'm gonna be very blunt and honest, and like, I'm gonna be very honest. And at this point, she doesn't get anything but blunt or extremely sharp. And in any instance, she doesn't, like when she's acting like this, it just makes me feel shitty, and that's the whole point. And like, how do I respond back? Well, I'm not gonna respond with the gloves on, right? Am I? So no, I'm not. But okay. You got the bakery cat here. I'm just kind of scattered on this one, so you just gotta go with it, and if it makes sense, it makes sense. If not, if not. At some point, I do think I'm just gonna like my story and pictures will just be put up publicly. It is literally meant to be an art installation in my thing to where I can express myself and also collect evidence in a way that makes sense to people. It lays it out in a very, very visually understandable way. And to these people who are watching, at one point, I don't think they felt like they were going to be so caught out as they just clearly are. And so it was like a slow process, but I eventually did. I had to say like very wild shit, and it's like, okay, kinky, pretty illegal shit, but like that's supposed to be my private story and pictures. Why are people watching it? If they only react because I make these points that are like maybe they think like, oh, I gotcha. It's like how Diddy's like collecting all this compromising material on people. It's like, well, it's not really compromising if I'm using it to pull this shit out into the open and show that you guys have been spying on me and using, I've been robbed multiple times. I don't put it past them. Um, they just spend a lot of time trying to make me feel uncomfortable. And literally, I keep saying this, people are dying around this cancerous situation. It's not going to be that long until someone Alessandra Ambrosio really cares about dies because of this evil rapey situation that she's brought on me. And like, I don't think you can have any like I don't take the blame on that. Yahweh is the one that does it, and he does it because he's protecting me, right? Um, why? Because like, what, do I have the resources of these people? Maybe secretly. I mean, do I? I don't know. Not in my awareness that I know of. Maybe this super powered Superman version of me knows, but like, if that's the case, why are they fucking with me? Oh, because he's Superman. All right, well, because he's Yahweh on the throne. They want to just prove that you don't exist. Well, it's like, okay, Matthew Ray Wilkins exists, and if you're gonna have to like, you're trying to make points to Jesus and Yahweh through me, I'ma fucking kill your ass. I mean, using the superpowers that you can clearly see that I'm developing, like the lightning thing. So when she gets struck by lightning, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, because this is my when I'm conquering at the seven churches and I develop the powers, the sharp double-edged sword out of the mouth and all these things, and I cut her to pieces. That's what I'm saying. But how do I defend myself? She clearly doesn't care about debasing herself. A lot of these women don't. They don't really care about anything but like money, and something's resourcing them. So at a certain point, what I do think she does care about is Anja and Noah to some degree, which is why I think, if she's Jezebel, the idea of the fourth church thing is Yahweh's like, I'm gonna kill her children. She does love her children. I'm gonna do it very publicly. All the men connected to her brought into extreme tribulation to the point of death. If they don't repent, they'll die, right? And it's going to be very public, and like, I would suggest lots of people are going to be very angry because it's going to be really obvious who they are and what they are. So to Jamie Mazur, you just represent every man that like asserts his sexuality in a rapey, evil fucking fashion over another man's wife in order to like, I guess, and this is for money and like for some kind of thing. I don't see any love between them. I don't think they ever were. I don't think there was ever any love. They're models and shit. Like they don't, it's not that they can't love, but like all their reality seems to be is photo shoots and shit, and like what they can post as content, which is kind of even my point. It's like, well, if so much of the content derived is explicitly aimed to communicate points to me, right? I get points from this. I don't get points from, not everybody seems to be making points with what's in their pictures. In the same way that like I'm talking about with Anja, like, hey, the thing's next to it. I'm pointing with my elbow. She's pointing with her elbow. Looks like she's reaching up here. I'm making a point that like if I can use these things in this way, and I'm consciously aware of it, when they're doing this shit, they're consciously aware of it and they're doing it this way. Oh, am I ratting on their fucking code? It's my world. Get the fuck off it. Like, actually, you don't belong here. I'm the one who gets to be here. At this point, you're the dogs. I'm the owner. If you're disrespecting and disobeying me, and you're not coming when I'm calling you, and you're like, letting other things impregnate you, like something's bred my dogs without my permission, well, then I put the dogs down and I move on to other better dogs. I mean, it's just what it is. Does it feel comfortable saying that? No, but I don't even think that's venomous. I just think that's some real shit. If they're acting like dogs, if they're being abusive fucking shitheads, that's what they deserve. And like this doesn't it makes me feel really uncomfortable how they do this. So even if it all was for me, the way they've done it makes me feel bad and uncomfortable, and they should feel bad because it's a failure on their part. If they were doing it right, this would not feel so shitty. If they're doing it because they need to show no, we need to make you cool so that no, you need to make me happy, and you're not doing that. You're acting like fucking rapist shitheads, and you're making me feel bad. I feel like you're, trying to humiliate me for like this game of like oppression or humiliation that people want to play, and I don't really give a fuck about that. So if you're not my dog, leave me alone. Actually, if you guys are both not my dogs, leave me alone, right? So that's the whole point of this. Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio, are they a trap or my dogs? Well, they clearly are something towards me. If they aren't my dogs, they're a trap. And they're the Jezebel trap, which was my whole point with this, right? That's why, who claims to be a prophetess, she's certainly all into certain bullshit. Anything other than the truth, she's into it. Okay. Astrology, super important. Okay, I mean, I look at astrology, I know about it. Moses knows the, power of Egypt, right? All the magicians and wizards in Pharaoh's court couldn't best Moses. He throws his rod down. It's a bigger snake. It eats up all theirs. It's a dragon. Him and Aaron's rods eat up all this little snakies that the Egyptian magicians can throw down. So like, okay, I guess she's thrown down something. And some of this seems to come like, okay, well, I think it's too obvious when I've made it so visually representative that they're trying to do this. And by the way, when I'm talking about the guy behind them and the blowjob thing, I talk about that in the video yesterday, right? That I recorded yesterday, or on the 7th. And like, you go here, you can see that. And when we go to Anja Ambrosio's thing, and like, it seems like she's trying to visually represent that there's the guy behind, tongues out, black and white. And I don't know if she's trying to, suggest cousin in me, like cousin in me, but it's like I've never seen that cousin before, and obviously I've been watching for a while, so she's trying to like, is she trying to make a point that she fucked my cousin, or I think the suggestion that they're trying to give me hope on is no, you get to fuck everybody in here's my family, fuck, we'll give you a blowjob too, and it's like, I mean, cool, male fantasy, you're really playing into it. I get infinite if I'm the guy on the throne of Yahweh. What you're presenting by all this is unwanted in this capacity. I don't want you to present it to me like this. I'm uncomfortable with how you present this because it's really kind of shitty and abusive. I don't think you should feel good about yourself, and I'm pretty sure this is just me proving out she's a trap. Alessandra Ambrosio is Jezebel, and Anja Ambrosio is just, one of her kids that dies because like, that's what it says. Else Lucilda's Jezebel or something. And like, but like, you know, all this makes me feel terrible. And like, in the end, I'm going to be Yahweh on the throne. I'm the guy that conquers at the 7 churches. There ain't anybody else doing anything even close. They aren't going to be that. They can be my dogs, and like, I'll put them into a position that is absurdly high, higher than they should be, right? Or maybe exactly where they should be, some place that I'm putting them in a high position. if they're my dogs, there's not going to be people closer. But like, why would I want dogs that make me feel shitty and aren't loyal to me and like, let other people breed things into them? So, this is kind of why I'm like, when I think like, well, it doesn't seem like Alessandra Ambrosio or Anja are as mad about this situation as I am. So that's why I don't think it's like a mirror, and I don't think like they're good people. And I think that they're the trap. And I think I've proven out they're the trap, and like it's kind of brain melting. That's why you don't see Anja post this much normally, but it's about to be really obvious that since she's been a child, she's been used as a tool of psychological abuse by her mom to make me feel shitty. And like, you know, with the lingering promise of, no, but when she's old enough, it's like, why would I want this if she gets older and she's like this? It would make me feel sick to be around someone who's just abusing me all the time like this, like, or like making me feel so shitty psychologically because there's no payoff to it. Does that make sense? It's just been a long string of, oh, but yeah, we're like, it's just been a long string of leading me on for a long time. But I've kind of proven out, well, if all her attention, both of their attention, and obviously the dad and all of their attention is aimed at me, yeah, I'm clearly the one who has some position. It's not money, is it? It doesn't look like it. I mean, we could go down a list. What it is I'm the guy on the throne of Yahweh, clearly conquering at the seven churches of Asia. I've literally developed just superpowers on camera, and it's only getting stronger. We'll see on the storm tomorrow, but I have no doubt that there's going to be something pretty fucking miraculous and amazing, probably more than ever. I could pull lightning from the sky tomorrow. Then they're absolutely going to have to fucking engage this in some way. You know what I mean? Like, that would literally be the point where Satan falls from the sky like lightning. So someone trying to be the adversary to me and rape children into me, something connecting itself to me that doesn't actually want to be with me, Alessandra Ambrosio, but that has raped children into me, because I think I'm connected to Alessandra. And that Anja was like the idea of like, oh, well, I'll make it up to you. Actually, what it turns out to be. But the way it was presented initially was like, oh, well, you're going through the Stephanie Houston thing, and, I see it, and let me, uh, look. I promise that my daughter's not going to be such a shithead. And then, like, all she's been to me is a shithead. So, is that mean to say she's a shithead? I don't know. She's acting like a shithead, man. I don't know what to say. Um, No, it's not if she's actually acting like a shithead. And I think the actual message she's trying to get over is nothing really good to me. It's more just leading me on, and it's psychologically abusive and evil. And so, like, I do think that when they die, like, if she's Jezebel, because I do think she's Jezebel at this point, it's like, it's just going to be so obvious. I'm going to have all this evidence, right? So, I mean, like, you know, that would be why I would get the iron rod. Because if I'm just saying this and I have this on video, and then, all of a sudden Anja and Noah die, and like, all the things go on exactly like the book of Revelation states, or hypothetically, I just pull lightning from the sky. They are in so much fucking trouble. It is beyond the ability to think. This is why I think they're like in fucking, it seems like they're in panic mode because she never really posts a lot like this, where it's just like bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. All right, let's watch the let's watch these, and then I think I'm done. Okay, we're gonna have to go and look at my highlights because it's already been a day. So. It starts with this one, by the way. Oh, and we can look here. Oh, it does say who's looked at it. And, like, it doesn't show that she's looked at it, but I'm like, I mean, I think she just, like, literally, as I'm talking about her on the thing, posts. And she doesn't, based on, just habits and stuff. She doesn't normally post around this time. I generally like I'm not focusing on that many accounts, right? And so like, Maggie Moon, it's pretty normal for her to post around this time. Why? Because in Japan it's like, daytime, right? But in California it's like midnight, right? So, my points with this are just like, yeah, I'm just getting tired of this, and like I don't think it lasts forever. And like I think I'm the one that comes out of it with the upper hand, in the right, and like I think Yahweh blesses me infinitely. 144,000. If I had to be raped by Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio to get 144,000 virgins and infinite anything that I want, and then like, I literally have powers to just undo it and make versions of them that don't do this, what do I like? Do I lose them? Well, I never really had them. You know what I mean? So like, no, I don't think I lose them. And I do think Yahweh is faithful more than people is, or Yah is faithful, and I think he makes up for it. So, and I'm gonna guess that the Empress Islam submission rape Mecca, when I'm saying Allah, I literally think it's Aleph Lamed Hey, or Ale Aleph Lamed Hey. I mean, it's just what it is. So I think that, I'm guessing that that's the rape Mecca, and that they paid her to have these rape children, and she literally is connected to me, and that's why she's Jezebel, and that's why the other character's Ishmael. I'm an Ishmaelite now because I've literally undone all this Arab fake bullshit about Palestine, about fucking, they're Ishmaelites, but so the Palestinians are Arabs and the Arabs are Ishmaelites, and you know what I mean? Like they like are confused. They have it's Babylon. It's confusion, land of confusion. But like, you know, basically, I'm the dude that calls them out on all their bullshit, and I'm just right. I'm also the dude that seemingly they've attacked in a way where I'm literally Jesus on the throne, and they're gonna have to make up for it. Or, you know what I mean? I don't care how big of a sovereign you are. This shit literally would be like, wait, they're using all that oil money to pay to rape people's reality away from them, and they hit Yahweh on the throne. The whole thing was this: a trap was set for them when they tried to set a trap, because Yahweh, like, it's almost like doomsday, but it's everything they try to bring against me. I think Yahweh reflects back at them, like brings back at them in a way it's harder on them. I get blessed by it. I just have to, like what I was talking about earlier. I still don't want to, I feel bad that I called on, I don't think Andra's ugly. I think she's on the inside, I think she's ugly. I don't think she's physically ugly. I don't, even, I don't think, like I'm saying, I don't think her dad is bad looking. I just feel like he raped children into me, which is, I think, the whole point of what Alessandra is trying to do. And like, I think probably the biggest like stab to the heart is by the end of this, right when she's about to die. I think like Jezebel realizes, which I think is Alessandra Ambrosio at this point. That's all I get from this. If it's not, I mean, if they were my dogs, they would be here. So I'm pretty sure they're the trap at this point. But if she was me, she would be so angry at the man who's tricked her and the men who've tricked her. It's like she would make it up to me beyond words, and you know what I mean? It wouldn't be played out like this. But the fact that it's still playing out like this, and she's not here, and I don't have dogs, well then I'll have dogs eventually. It just won't be them. I'll have lots of dog. Well, I'll have some dogs that are like, Yahweh will make it up to me. Perfect dogs for me in a way that is perfect. So I'm like not gonna. I'm not stressed about it. I mean, I can be stressed, but I do have a lot of faith that Yahweh ultimately makes up for everything. Everything. Every little everything that I've gone through, not just made up for, but like double infinity. Or infinity double. So if I get, infinity for the way I've been attacked, I get double infinity. Anyway. I think it's also very difficult that, you know, they're doing the dog thing, but it's like, oh, I'm just a cat. I'm just a little kitty. I do think I was watching a thing earlier where it's like when cats deal with snakes, you know, a snake could bite a cat if it can hit it. Cats have really good reflexes. And so like a domestic cat is able to deal with the snake by just like it just out reflexes the snake. It's just more agile. So if that, you know, as much as I've said like, well, I don't worry about a snake because it's just something seemingly that I've stepped on and okay, it's bit me, but I'm just healing. And seemingly the healing, some of it is like pulling this bullshit out into the open. So, all right, hold on. But if I'm just a cat, well, then I'm not worried either because I don't worry about snakes as a cat because I'm just more agile and faster. And like, you know, they try to bite and the cat's just like, "Meow." Like, look.
The reaction speed of cats is quite remarkable, ranging from 0 to 70 milliliters. No doubt about it. In the mammal world, this is the ceiling for combined attack and defense reaction speed. To understand their lightning-fast reactions, we can use snakes as a reference. The attack speed of snakes typically falls between 40 to 70 milliliters. In other words, snakes can launch an attack in as little as 0.04 to 0.07 seconds. Now cats, on the other hand, can assess risks and make evasive or even counterattack moves within this time.
I love that one where just looking the snake in the eye and the snake like, and it just swats it down.
The reaction.
But yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to show. I don't need to show more. So you know, just generally it feels like with the Cuzzy plus me thing, it just feels like Alessandra and Anja specifically. I mean, you know, I think Stephanie Houston was doing this, but it just stopped working because I just stopped caring about Stephanie Houston. I only care that there's this woman who has this account with hundreds of thousands of followers that's clearly trying to bully me, and nobody's saying fucking anything. And it also just proves out all my points about, hey, there's like a coven of women that are very specifically staying silent, trying to abuse me in silence as much as they can, while they like, you know, this whole thing where I'm like, Secret Lab is behind my head, and I'm like, you know, what are you talking about? Oh shit. I just realized it's been. Hold on, we gotta watch the cat thing again. There's no way I can just let that one go. We gotta watch the cat one.
The reaction speed of cats is quite remarkable, ranging from 0 to 70 milliliters. No doubt about it. In the mammal world, this is the ceiling for combined attack and defense reaction speed. To understand their lightning-fast reactions, we can use snakes as a reference. The attack speed of snakes.
Is it Ultra Instinct? You know, like maybe I'm just like making this video in real time as she is posting. You know what I mean? And it just proves like, you know, they're acting really snaky and I'm just a fucking cat like, no.
Typically falls between 40 to 70 milliliters. In other words, snakes can launch an attack in as little as 0.04 to 0.07 seconds.
This is the one that I like.
Now cats, on the other hand, can assess risks and make evasive or
I mean, it smacks the shit out of that snake too.
even.
Like, look at it. It's still literally just looking the snake in the face as the snake is like.
Counterattack moves within this time frame.
All right, I thought that was important to watch. Okay, let's look at the me doing cat things. That's what 2024 is about. Me as the cat. See? See, the spell backfired, and now I'm a cat. But I got really good reflexes, and I'm hitting the shit out of these snakes. Smacking them over the head. Like Anja's dad, and Anja, and Noah, and Alessandra, a whole brood. A whole breed? A whole brood. Am I a wizard? No, I'm a cat.
Says always tell your mummy before you go off somewhere.
Get lightning bolted, idiot. When I pull lightning from the sky, this is gonna be so goddamn relevant, it'll be even more hilarious. I'm not even kidding. But my part of my point with this is, Anja wants to be like at least pretend like she's my dog. So like here we're pretending. I'm the guy with the chainsaw. I'm like vigilante, or I'm like the either the Doom Marine or vigilante from Peacemaker. I'm never gonna kill somebody with a chainsaw. Uh, but yeah. Uh, and lightning in the background, and it's to conquer. And we'll look at my thing, story and pictures here in a moment. But yeah, get lightning bolted, idiot. Yeah, it seems like I'm about to conquer at the fourth church. The one where Alessandra as Jezebel and her children are the children that die, and the men like Jamie and all these other men are the men that are about to be brought under extreme pressure. That's what it seems like to me. I would suggest Alessandra and Anja, if they don't want that, they better get their little doggy buttholes, somewhere in my vicinity. But it does seem like that's what it is, which sucks. It sucks. But whatever. Yeah, life hard, but I'm harder. The look on that cat's face. Perfection. Anyway, and then the Hallelujah mix. And I guess we'll go look at the story and pictures, and that's where we'll end this. So, initially, I just started this video to say I felt bad about saying Anja was ugly. Because, I feel really venomed by this whole situation, and it does feel really shitty, and, did that pop up on purpose to tell me that this is Apple TV? Anyway, it does feel really shitty, and, I don't think she's ugly. I don't think she's ugly. I don't even think Jamie's ugly. Like, I'm also not afraid, speaking of gay men, I'm not afraid. He puts a lot of effort into putting himself around women in a way that well, why don't you just have a harem? You're connected to Alessandra Ambrosio. I'm sure you could have that, but that's why I think it's just bullshit. All these people are bullshit. But also, I do think it says in this picture. I'd have to go pull it up, but I think it says do in on her shirt or Dawn. Take it as it is, but uh, I also think me being honest about all this and going through this, it's well, why can't I have a harem? Women are specifically making a point to beat me over the head about sexuality. Why can't that is what literally the idea of Jesus on the throne, Jesus coming for his bride. It's all of the women are his bride. Every Christian woman. Every human. But you know, all the women and all the men too. And the idea is the men hey, you're supposed to work for me to you make me daughters, I'm sure I make you daughters or something, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But you can't just steal my semen and make a son or a daughter without my permission. That's not okay. Um a lot of this is based on having each other's permission. It's called consent, and being good people to each other. None of that seems to be going on with this situation around me. and like, there clearly is a thing where like I do have special privilege to like reach out to Anja's account. Actually, I think they have special privilege to like see my account, um, and like be connected to me. But in this game that they're trying to play, okay, if I'm just a normal dude, just an average fuck, okay, I guess I have normal privilege. I have a privilege to like reach out to this account. I don't think other men. Am I a man? They're trying to treat me like anything but have, you know what I mean? And I also say I don't think Jamie would be that much older than me. Maybe like around Alessandra's age. He looks considerably like weathered from just existence, probably dealing with all this shit. So if that didn't tell you how like difficult this shit is, even with all the like, I think that being connected to these people, they can give you like tea and stuff and testosterone and like it like they're the alien women, so they can give you up to a certain point. They can like buff you in in a way like in World of Warcraft we were talking earlier. They can kind of buff the men. Literally, it makes them buff. And I think part of the point was to take me from I looked like Noah when I was growing up, and I'm gonna go from that to like the super powered dudes, and like I'm literally gonna be Yahweh on the throne. But like the dudes in every appearance of like Jesus or like the messenger of Yahweh or Daniel 10 where he's like or Jesus in Revelation 1 where it's just clearly like the idea is that speaking of Dragon Ball Z, it's like seeing someone who's a Super Saiyan. Like they're just always in Super Saiyan mode. So they have like lightning around them and fucking like they're super like literally they describe the muscles as like gyms. Like that's how cut they are, right? That's what it's like literally their body is not just rock hard, it's like gemstone hard, diamond hard. They have certain names for it because we call the gyms slightly different things than some of the names they use, but you know, and like the voice is like the voice of like a crowd speaking as if they're fused with a bunch of people. Well, if I'm fused with 144,000 virgins and they're all mine, I'm sure it would sound like a crowd speaking. It also sounds like all of a sudden in the past couple weeks I've gotten way stronger all of a sudden. I've gotten way like my voice is deepened just like a lot considerably, and I'm not trying to. It just is um like it feels like I'm like my powers are just amping up. It just does. Whether you'd want to admit that or not, it feels like that to me. So, okay. Let's look at this real fast. We got okay, we got the cat over here. The Stella Maxwell shared this. By the way, under all of these things that I shared, I tagged Alessandra, Andra, and Stella Maxwell. And maybe that's also why this because of how Stella Maxwell is using that Jordan guy in order in this kind of same way to make me feel uncomfortable, or she has, it seems like. Um, and it's like, I don't want to be so oppositional to people. I'm not trying to be adversarial. It seems like the women are trying to use men to in an adversarial fashion to make me feel uncomfortable. But the men aren't like using the women in a way that's like productive for every like to make a better reality. They're just kind of like sacks of meat being used by the women in order to like I don't know for short term pleasure or gain. So in any instance, one of the songs in the um, in this is this by Cold Cuts, and like these are two that one of these at least is going in this mix. And you could see actually when I posted these on my story and pictures initially, connected very clearly to Alessandra Ambrosio. I can even go to where it is. And I remember where it is because right after posting this, the massive earthquake in Turkey that killed like 50,000 plus people. I mean, like, it seemed very clearly connected to me. Um, So, I just got to go back to that date and you'll see this. I mean, I remember it pretty clearly. In fact, we can do it. So, but just listen to this. Also, this happens to be a song that I remixed the Shocks version of this. I remixed this track in like 2019, right before they threw me in the jail. I have all on recording because I was recording everything in my life at that point. This is why ultimately the best superpower I think that I have is keeping good records. I mean, I'm not even fucking kidding with that one. But okay, by the way, Stella shared this, and it was after I shared some cat stuff, so I think she's trying to make points to me. But then it's like, oh, she's trying to make me feel like a cat. My cat for no my cat for no reason. For no reason? For no reason. Violence. And then orange cat activities. I'd also say this: if I'm coming up with the like worst case scenario and it's not that, okay, well, can people get me out of this weird chamber where I feel like I'm in I literally feel like I'm in a rape chamber. Why? I've been attacked in my sexuality, something won't let off. It's literally physically crippling me. As I've pushed it away as I've exerted out through my right side trying to force it to stop, my right side has developed. As I've focused on it, I've developed lightning power, and it's just everything is becoming more obvious. So it just feels like that to me. But okay, let's quickly look at the it's these. First of all, these, and I'm gonna no. Yeah. So just one moment. It's difficult navigating multiple screens like this. Holy shit, this is weird. Um right? So, um, also Alessandra Ambrosio has a black cat on the moon tattooed on her butt or right over her butt, and it's like, yeah, it feels like this is just very clearly aimed at this situation, right? But let's listen while I go find where I originally had posted this in story, but also just recognize that this one goes with this, like the eye and the crescent moons. By the way, in the solar eclipse today, it looked like a crescent sun. You never seen that. I've never seen that before, at least not in person. And I did get a video of it, so and pictures. And then so you got the cat with three eyes here, right? And this one looks more like the moon cat. And then this one is me as the, here in Houston as the space cat. And I'm just, I got a third eye and I'm in my space suit and I'm dealing with these I'm dealing with the alien women. And I'm sure it looks kind of like I'm the alien. It's like, okay, well, Superman is an alien, right? Congrats. Okay, hold on one moment. Oh, shit. Okay, so this is what I was trying to show. It really is it's kind of a mind trip. I'm dealing with multiple screens and they aren't actually exactly in the way they are. Okay, so this is also an interesting one. Ale, Alleluia. But okay, and it also has the crescent moon. In fact, everything in this, you know, hey, look, it's a crescent moon over the head, and I'm trying to keep with the colors. Maybe this says Christian a camo for various reasons. I don't know. A person named Christian, but also just being a Christian that's a camo. For most people, for me, it's just a life I live out. It's not a camo to me, but maybe to them wearing the cross and stuff, like Anja's always wearing a cross. It's like, I mean, I think you're literally trying to kill the guy on the throne of Jesus. Like the whole that is like mocking Jesus more than you could ever imagine. But that's the point. I mean, they just they don't understand how it's like, man, you are really messing up here. You're like, I don't think you get like, okay, Book of Revelation is absurdly just like violence. I mean, just like it's like Yahweh has had enough. Well, why? Because the first time he came as a person, Jesus, they executed him and he was completely innocent. So if they've done something similar in my case, except using sexuality in a really fucked up way, and like Jesus has given me his, you know, the seven churches of Asia thing, then that's why I would be on the throne with him. But and seemingly the Alessandra thing is the thing that the Alessandra thing is the thing that is the fourth church thing. I'm assuming the fact that this says Archie Kane and that I've obviously this is in my story and pictures. I mean, why does Kate all of a sudden the Princess of Wales have cancer and so does the King of England? Are they the ones paying her to do this? It could be. All these people are fucking rapey and evil. They haven't spoken up to my situation. I can't get people to speak reasonably, even just to my face. I can't even get my friends to just like, hey, this is wrong, right? Like my cousin at least said it was wrong, but I think even that it feels like maybe he went too far or something. But maybe it's also because I don't know. Is the suggestion that my family members are fucking these women? I mean, that's what they seem to be trying to imply. So I mean, it's just like, yeah, this is really evil. This is why like people would be getting cancer around this, including my family members. If you aren't, you need to speak up. Like I don't fucking understand how you wouldn't have spoken into this situation to end this when literally people are getting cancer. Oh, it got fixed. Yeah, because I prayed for it, and my batting record is 100%. If I'm praying for you, you're healed. That's just what it is. That's why I'm like, you know, that's why the thing from Deuteronomy 32 seems to be relevant. Like, it's I who give life, it's I who give death, right? Um, or how does it put it? It is see now that I am he, and beside me there is no other God. It is I who deal death and life. When I have struck, it is I who heal, none can deliver from my hand. Yeah, that sounds like the Jesus at the sixth church of the book of Revelation when he says, I have the keys to life and death. That sounds exactly what that is. Okay, because that's what it is. But real fast, I'm gonna find these tracks and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. First, how about we do this? When was this earthquake? I also have on video. It was initially reported as an 8.1. Based on the what I can see, I think it was an 8 point something. I don't think it was a 7.8. I think they gave it that because the USGS sometimes needs to make it look less significant. I think these things are political. I've always said, and I've been saying for a while, I think you have an AI that objectively, just based on the data, gives you like a more reasonable number. And that you make this AI, you try to make it the universal for like everywhere, because all these different agencies have different seemingly thresholds for what they consider this, that, or the other. So I think if you had an AI that just did it, that was good at it, that like used machine learning and neural net fit and whatever, you taught it, it was taught well and fed a lot of data, I think you'd get much more accurate. And maybe not even accurate, it's the consistency. Because in one place, like, I don't, you see an earthquake that's like a 4 and it does a lot of damage in a certain place. And then you'll see another one that's like a 6 and it's just like, and it's like, what the fuck? I don't think there's consistency between the reporting agencies or something. Like something's off here, and it's not that. I don't think that the 6 was less power, like, or that the one that actually did a lot of damage. I don't think that's less than the other one. But okay. Just by the way, here's this earthquake. It happened on February 6, 2023, did $163 billion worth of damage. It killed 60,000 people, injured 120,000 people. It was really gruesome and terrible to look at some of the stuff, like, children caught in the rubble, like, ugh, and whatever. It's not. I mean, I'm trying to make the point. Like it's gruesome to look at. So the fact that it seems to be connected to whatever's going on with Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio, that they're trying to beat me over the head, and I would also suggest that the seven churches of Asia are something in Turkey. So is it me proving out to the thing that connects the Middle East to Europe that in fact Jesus and Yahweh are the true God and that Islam is a knockoff and that probably again is Allah is a feminine deity seemingly Aleph Lamed Hey versus Aleph Lamed or Aleph Lamed Hey Yod Mim, one being singular masculine, the other being masculine plural. El or Al is singular masculine deity, God. Elohim is masculine plural intensive, but used as for God or deity, same thing. Its root word is El or Al, and or Al, and you get it. I mean, it's like it is what it is. Then you add a Hey, Aleph Lamed Hey, and it makes it feminine based on if you do that in Hebrew, it makes the thing feminine. Since these come out of the Hebrew language, because it's an older language, it's the older tradition, it's the older religion, it's the older manuscripts. It's just the actual religion that talks about the deity that people call Al or El. And like I think if you add a hey at the end, Allah or Elo or Ale, like Alessandro Ambrosio. So I think she's using this like at least it seems to me that she's using the rape mecca and has been using it to like beat me over the head. And if I'm the one on the throne of Yahweh and I'm like I had to from my childhood have to deal with being connected to her and her doing this, which it feels like to me, and it only came into like the final kind of attack was the final like the way that she could play it out was if the trap worked and I wasn't able to like, figure this out. She already has kids. It's already like I'm gone. But if I can prove out that she's Jezebel from the end of the book, she's fucking cooked. And all the men that participated are cooked. And and Anja and Noah, they're dead. Just based on your existence's rape on my reality. If this example is the example that humans are setting for each other, if this is a thing that is a poisonous strike that's killed me from my childhood and she's only empowered it by like getting pregnant by men that aren't connected to her really and all this stuff, then yeah. And like she's just been a tool. Her eggs have just been a tool for these men to abuse me. Then yeah, that's what it seems to be. And that the group of people using her as the Nicolaitans, and that she's like a prophetess for the Nicolaitans. Though, even in the sense of her being Ale, right? She could have been a lot more. And my whole point is like, she's like, it seems to me like, based on every indication, she doesn't want to come with me, and she's giving up being God, Empress of all existence, Queen of Queens, like a literal deity in order to be a rapist and see her children die and see her family die and see her friends die and see like history condemn her when the entire world starts crashing down around this situation, right? Or, not just this situation, but this situation's going on. And then Yahweh does the things that prove it out, like the earthquake stuff and, what's going on in Israel right now. I mean, it looks like there's about to be a third temple. And I don't think that's going to be around very long until, like, once there is a third temple, I don't even think there has to physically be, but once there is, and then the things happen, it's happened. You can't undo it, right? And we aren't far. And it looks like Israel's about to attack Rafah too. Whether that is like, some code for whatever. I mean, it seems like what it is. So, um yeah. Okay. So, I don't know. If Alessandra Ambrosia feels like that's not what's going on and she's not this bad person, why don't you reach out and speak with me and talk to me in person and treat me like a good person might treat me instead of treating me like an abusive person might treat me. I think that, me saying the dogs thing is like it's kind of tongue in cheek, but it's also like, well, how do I defend myself? But also Anja seems down and you seem down. At least that's how you're playing. So I don't think you can get really that offended. But like, okay, come and talk to me like you're people and I'm people, and you aren't shitheads, and you're gonna treat me right, and I'll be really fair and listen to you, and try to judge whether you're telling me the truth or not. But I mean, it's just like I don't think this shit can just keep going on forever, especially when I'm about to show like I'm pretty sure this is why this earthquake happened. So I mean, I guess it could be something else, but where was this? February 23rd, 2023. By the way, I just want to point out when we're talking about the when I'm talking about the her wanting to be a clown thing. I mean, it looks to me like she clearly wants to be Harley Quinn or some kind of clown lady. So, I mean, and my point is like, all right, well, maybe be Android 18. Get it Android instead of Android. I thought that was funny. Um, but yeah, okay. So yeah, seems to me like she clearly wants to be a clown lady, and like also I thought this was funny, and I think that's the point. I'm just mocking the whole situation because it doesn't feel good. Like, how do I deal with this? And it also seems like she's trying to get to this point. Why does she have these eyes like this? You know what I mean? So, it definitely seems like she's following my lead, but like no reciprocation. Like, they're leading me on, and like I'm doing things to react, and they're like playing along, except like I don't like this. It feels really uncomfortable and abusive. If you mean for it to not feel like that, you need to engage me in person. We're already past the point of this being okay. And like I'm bringing this out into public whether you guys like it or not, and I might not even do it immediately. The whole point is like, well, let me pull lightning from the sky first, then you're really fucked. I mean, literally, let me pull lightning from the sky first, because it looks like the storm tomorrow are just gonna be fucking, like, I mean, actually it looks like these are gonna be wicked. We can even see the new run here, but just based off this run, right? This run or the previous couple runs, like these storms are going to yield some intense. Like this is like the longest string of this color that I've seen since I've been watching this app. These are the highest what are DBZ. Speaking of DBZ, Dragon Ball Z, but speaking of that's the highest I've seen on any of these, I think, and there's like several portions of it over multiple hours. That's how high up this is. There's literally only 8 more things that could get higher, and then it's off the chart. Um, so, and we're gonna get some of that here over us here in Houston. So I'm gonna have about, at least at this point, 1 hour, 2 hours, like 3 hours worth of intense, stuff. We'll even see. Here's the new run. Let's just see this real fast. What do you think? Yahweh's only limited to doing lightning stuff? And that's kind of even changed. I mean, like, look at it's like just this whole area is covered. And so I'm going to tell you this. They are currently experiencing flash flood warnings, and it expires in 90 minutes. I don't know why it would expire, because look at it, just trains over the areas for like at one point when I was looking at it, I counted how many hours it was. There was a yellow or red over Monroe, Louisiana, and it was literally 24 hours worth of yellow or red DBZ, uh, like weather. Which it's kind of changing now, so we'll see. It seems to be like a fluid kind of change a bit situation. It also just popped up out of nowhere, but like you know I'm just gonna suggest that, like, yeah, it's gonna be like, I think that's gonna be super intense. But okay, let's go to also here's me kind of trolling. Anyway, I try to make the best out of this shitty situation. Like this one. Damn, this bitch is the love of my life. Is she? I mean, if she is, the way she's handling this is really shitty. I don't think she is. if she actually was, it would be. But and then also my some of my point with this one, I don't think they ever thought I was going to bring this out like this. Roses are red, coal needs to burn. Coal needs to burn. Something, something, mommy, and I put as mom, it's my turn. And, between her and Anja, that's the joke. But okay. All right, I'm just going by really suggestive stuff that would be, what am I trying to say? You know, we're at the point where, what I'm saying, like, look, hot poo. And so I'm making the point like this, they shared this thing, and like, it looks like poo, so hot poo. This is my let's do poo thing jokes. I mean, is that a joke? No, let's do poo things. Anyway. Um, I really think they didn't think I was gonna actually like that this would be public at any point, because like if I hadn't played it out like this, even this is still like, oh, it's gonna be kind of dangerous. But it's like modern day society suicide. But I mean, it seems like the symbolism and the fact that so many of these people are clearly watching in my private thing, at a certain point, it's like, I'm not the one in the wrong here. There's clearly a group of people that are trying to cut me off of my sexuality. Alessandra is using her daughter. They've both basically abused me with their sexuality, or like, in the way that they're making points around my situation when the Stephanie Houston thing is so obviously happening and has been, and that they doubled down on this woman being evil in order to be evil to me instead of be kind and helpful and just like, yeah, it's going on, and it's a form of abuse, but whatever. Hey, remember that time? Look, it's Imrata. Remember that time that the statue of Jesus was struck by lightning? I'm gonna just suggest, like, it's just Yahweh making points. I don't know if they thought it was something else. Hey, look, Imrata and Beyonce. It even looks like it says in the forum thing here, something about Imrata, right? Emily Radajakovsky, four egg. You get it? So they stole an egg to abuse me with Imrat, right? That's what it seems like. And look, Imrat is just blushing looking at it. See, this is how you tell a visual story. But you'd have to go through the whole thing, and you'd have to have some context, and also clearly Beyonce's playing a part, which is like, yeah, this isn't Texas. Yeah, I know, you're never in Texas. You're a fucking liar. Like, you just want people to think about you being in Texas, you know what I mean, or something. Also, the disturbing imagery thing, it's supposed to be disturbing. Like, they're trying to be disturbing to me, so I'm just like, well, fuck it. I'll be more disturbing back. You guys aren't even you do not know who you are fucking with. But I do think that this whole point here, when I'm talking about that person, Emily Bella or Bella Emily, it's like she's trying to make points, I think, with the kid that, I don't know, they're abusing the kid behind the scenes. Like, I do think there's some pedo stuff going on. And not like, when I'm like, oh, hey, people have been cutting me off of my sexuality. Well, can you provide this? And like, I can wait to the right time, or like, whatever. We'll figure out something appropriate. But like, I literally mean, I think they're just trying to abuse kids. Something like this image, right? And then so I saw that, and then I was like, then I saw this AI image, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it seems like that looks like some kind of demon or deity type thing from the east somewhere, And so I'm like, okay, well, first of all, it's just something to laugh at to me. But you know, these things do not scare me. I think it's very disturbing for your normal person, maybe. But for someone who's not like, I think I tread a fine line. But in any instance, hold on. I'll just here. We can just go up from here. I don't think, I'm not always. Here's the other thing. Sometimes I go through periods where I'm using like hypersexual imagery. Other times I'm trying to make points with music. Other time like, here the point is like you got these things and they're acting like this kind of venom goop, and it's like you shooting a laser at it and it just like, so it like dodges the laser or some shit. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just making points. Oh hey, Karen Fukuhara. Didn't I just put her on one of my mix covers? Kind of. Yeah, on the Maggie Moon mix cover. Uh, Also, I thought this was a hilarious shirt. Hey, this is February of last year. Hey, it's me. Uh, uh, that's why the yoker. Look, dog things. No, she's a flamingo here. She's just really into the dog things now. Oh, here, hey, Jonathan Majors makes a thing. He's no longer having issues in his court case. Anyway, my point with it, look, it's Xochi and she's doing this thing, but the women are doing a mirror thing to me. So what it looks like to me when I'm like a Persian emperor, dealing with these kind of like you know well resourced people that it feels like they're trying to make sexual points with Xochi or whatever to me. But wait, where was what were we looking for? Oh, February 6th. Okay, so we're going backwards, right? Again, they're just trying to make points with these men. This is, I believe, why the Jezebel thing says that they're going to take that Yahweh is going to bring these men into extreme tribulation very publicly unless they repent, which means you got to make it right and you have to very publicly say that this is happening and this is how you've been used. Otherwise, he's going to kill everybody you love, everything connected to you, bring you out. You're the ones in the wrong. You've been participating in a rape attack on my reality, you know. And like, okay, hey, look, the milk thing, right? Hey, milk. And then she's like, he likes cappuccinos. I definitely don't, because cappuccinos have milk. It's their milk coffee, right? But anyway, they're just making points to me. I mean, literally over enough time. The fact that this is all just in my story and pictures should make you realize like the fact that I can like connect that it looks like they're watching me on my story and pictures, right? It pretty fucking clearly is just that they're watching me my story and pictures. But okay, here's this day, right? Here's this day. Oh, hey, in this aren't these tracks that just went into the Maggie Moon mix? Yeah. Yeah, they are. We can just start at February 1st. How does that sound? Hey, look, take this ring. Marry the first person who appears. Oh, it's Alessandra Ambrosio. Let's get married. I mean, I think the whole point is like she was actually supposed to be my. Like, I feel like reality, the way this works, is something connected me with her for some reason, but that she was always connected to me. And like, or at least for a long time before then, I had to be connected with her. And like, she's used that in a way to hurt me. Oh, hey, it's Selena Gomez. Hmm. Yeah, they're just making these evil fucking points. But hey, JK, back at it. The women are just back at it. A bunch of abusive, like, witches and coven that are willing to, like, suicide themselves and destroy reality. And so, like, we're going through here and it's like, let me proclaim, you always told me you're my son. Hey, line of Yod. You get it? Uh, here's the message. I'm just making points like, hey, it's the Psalm 2 thing and the fourth church thing. You get that for that being that. And then, hey, Churro Man, she posts that, but Lean Beef Patty had posted that. And, you know, hey, Double Trouble, Japanese sweatshop. Hey, this is where I was pulling the sword out of the stone. Well, with 3.5 days later, there's a massive earthquake that killed 50,000 people in Turkey. Now, I don't think that's the place that the Lord of the World was crucified, is it? But that was Jerusalem. It also says 7,000 people die. So maybe this is just a foretelling of what's to come. But, it does seem like, hey, we keep going. Hey, it's Georgina Rodriguez. Hey. Then you go here, and I'm showing like Omega Point. Odd maneuvers. I got to make some odd maneuvers here. Firing. I'm firing my laser. Oh yeah, psyoptic, and it looks like a alien in a hoodie. Then it says Jaja on the thing, or AJ, but Jaja. And look, it's Victoria Justice. Like, oh, is this Victoria's Secret? And it says on, or one, but on, and they're in front of the thing, right? Oh yeah, and then Encounter, and UFO, and then Yo TV, The Truth Is Out There, and then Maggie Moon, ET. Remember, this is the fifth. And then also, here's me mocking Alessandra for looking like an alien. I mean, looking like this specific alien. And then and then she has her eyes closed, so let me use Habibi Cat to, like, the snake's kind of trying to do the thing, and then no. If your eyes are closed, you can't see. Wise words from Habibi Cat. Thank you, Habibi. Habibi Cat is a more powerful deity than Allah is, actually, or Allah. So, and I'm Habibi Cat. That's just what it is. And then so you got the same area, right? Hey, it's that song right here. And then Feel, Bahia, Hailu remix. And then Lu, Nah. And then, hey, look, Vibrance, Crystal Collect, Bitchcraft, Unmistakable. Oh, some of these are in the Maggie Moon mix. Yeah. And then Vibrance and these other tracks are going in the Alessandra Ambrosio mix, at least currently. Oh, yeah. I didn't even go through this. It's just, probably this is just meant to be. And so I'm just puzzle pieces. Uh, and then, like, hey, look, this idol that keeps popping up behind her head because she's always surrounded by idols. Now, I'll tell you this. We got idols all over my family's house. I don't really know I don't know what to say about that. Like, do I got to throw away every, like, Star Wars toy that I have or something? Do I got to throw away the mask collection that my mom got and whatever? No, I just don't believe the bullshit about any of it, right? I believe in Jesus and Yahweh. And I know what masks are and what they represent. I know those are toys. You know what I mean? Like, I don't worship any of this shit. I worship Jesus and Yahweh. Um, hey, from his mouth came a sharp sword to strike the pagans with, and blah, 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 blah. Okay? And then 4D, this is a good track. Hey, pictures. Are there pictures of Anja naked? Probably. Like, in a way that would be inappropriate and, like, abusive. I mean, and that not specifically saved for me because we're in a relationship and we've been in a relationship for a really long time, and her mom's saving her for me and her dad's okay with it and blah, 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 blah. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. But this one's going in the Anja Ambrosio mix, so maybe these are going in the Anja Ambrosio mix. We'll find out. Okay, we're gonna see. Oh, hey, she's turning 14 here, and yet first of all, this idol is very clearly in the background, and it seems like the thing that I'm talking about, where the people in the background and they're trying to make points with it and make me feel uncomfortable. It could be the thing, like what I'm saying, where it's just a figurine that she got from somewhere. I'm not so like, oh, the devil, the demons. I'm just like, well, I don't trust these people at all. I don't, like, you're just every indication is you're just leading me on. Every indication is that you're just someone who's been connected to me for a long time and then used to abuse me. I mean, that's what it is. If that's not what it is, you have every opportunity and have had every opportunity to end this. Also, Anja Luis. I don't, it could be something pointing out some evil shit that people have done to me. That seems to be the whole point, is to, like, fuck with my head and make me feel like anybody and everybody, like all these people are doing, how does this sound? Insane Asylum Radio. Oh, I guess I'm still in the asylum, huh? And I'm just trying to, like, describe what my situations is. Look, I'm just in the, exclusion. So this is my point, is that I'm being excluded and they're trying to scare me because it's physically hurting my right leg. Maybe they didn't know that at the time. And like, if it is, it's that's why. But I think also just me saying these things and pointing out like, no, you're not good people, and I think this is the end of the Bible, and I think you're going to be condemned in front of everybody as like rapist shitheads. You guys think you're demons, and you're in denial, and like you aren't. You like okay, even if you are Yahweh, you want to see a demon, you're going to see Al Shady. uh, you know, God, my demon, not Ale, but Al. Al. How about this? Once my mom stops fucking around and I have all the power in this situation of her dad, and I don't know, her dad could have done some evil shit. I've even some of my things has been like, is he not even alive? Is he like held in some cryostasis just to fuck with me or something? Whatever it is, I mean, my whole point is like, even if whatever, I mean, I'm gonna be the dude on the throne of Yahweh. I'm not fucking worried about it. But or I'm not worried about it currently. Because every time people try to throw shit in my face, it's like, well, I guess I gotta worry about it for a moment, or not worry about it, but think about it. But with her, it's like when I'm just her son, and she thinks I've been, I've done something wrong, and people are fucking with me and whatever, right? Uh, my whole point with this is that that was my knee popping. My whole point with this is that like when if she comes to the conclusion, like if it clicks in her brain, which I think as my right eye clicks in, it's gonna click in on her left eye, and her shield's gonna pop out. And when her shield pops out to defend her, and my dad's sword pops out, and then it's coupled with mine in the same way that I'm trying to show, like, left hand shield, right hand sword. Everybody seems to be really right handed who's aimed at me, and they're like, this is why my left eye is super open. My right hand is opening, seemingly in conjunction with Jesus and everything, but also seemingly just in conjunction with me being Matthew Ray Wilkins. I think my mom is more connected and could in this more than people would want to acknowledge. In the same way that I think my dad, when she's like, well, what can I do? Well, you could, if you really cared, you could come up with something. I 100% am certain. This is the same woman who's like, well, I don't know how to do this on the computer. It's like, I just saw you do it yesterday, and like every day at the office, I know you do this, like literally every day. So I know you do know how to do it. You're just doubting yourself. In the same way, when she stops doubting what I'm saying and starts like, I do know how to do it, this shit's done. I mean, I'm not even kidding. So, like when she realizes this looks like the back of our house, like the kind of tile, whatever, because people are trying to make me feel like it's the back of our house. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, or I'll say this, or some demons that are using these people are trying to make this feel like, you know what I mean? It's specifically aimed at me. Okay, yeah. So, um, anyway, let's just go back to this and we'll finish this up and then I'm done. I think it's too late, but I haven't been playing Counter Strike too much. Obviously, I played a game the other day, or two, but I've just been mostly, I don't know. It's kind of like less fun when they're doing this. But okay, hold on. So, you know, when did this earthquake happen exactly? Let's look at 4 Turkey time. Hold on. So they are. Wait, at 4 a.m.? I guess sometime around 8 p.m. on the 5th. What time was this? How about we look at the one specifically, this one. Okay, you can't see it, so hold on. Or can you? No, it's not popping it up. This says at 5:49 a.m. So that when you see 5:49 up there, it's in the a.m. So this was on the 5th. And so on the 5th at later in the night, so like sometime, this is the 6th, the Turkey earthquake had happened at this point, right? So this, let's see. Yeah, this is the last thing that I posted. This was the last thing that I posted, and then the earthquake. And you can see what was going on before that, right? And this is what I'm saying. You can track these things going on in my story and pictures. Like, you can literally track what's going on with what's going on in my story and pictures. Like, certain events, if you just go through it, you'll find that a lot of events, there's like something significant in my story and pictures that happens, and then, you know, whatever. Like, even the whole, and this is what I've even was kind of making the point with this, is that like with this earthquake that happened in Jersey the other day, and it was like a 4.8 or what, like a 5 something. I don't know. Initially, it was a 5.5 I saw, which is pretty very large for, Northeast. It even at a 4.8, it was like the biggest in 140 years, they said. But literally, the night before, I had recorded the video that said, hold on. This is my trash. Anyway, in the video where I record and I say that, like, hey, this is this one. All right. If there's some kind of earthquake during this eclipse, you know who's the most tuned in to all this. As connected to the Book of Revelation. Just FYI. All right. All right. Anyway. And then there wasn't an earthquake during the eclipse. There was just an earthquake. The biggest earthquake to happen in 140 years happened in New York within less than 12 hours. Same way where, like, and I hadn't posted this yet. So I hadn't posted this on, not that I think that matters, but that I hadn't posted this on, like, I recorded it at 4 on the 4th at 9, and you could confirm with what this is, and the metadata on my phone and everything. But like, and then the earthquake happens by New York, right? And so was there an earthquake? Somebody even left. Oh, hilariously enough, Mike Hunt left only counts if it's over a 7 mag, and I just said K. But like, my point, I was even saying, like, is there going to be an earthquake during the eclipse? Maybe. I think the fact that there was the biggest earthquake in New Jersey, like, immediately within 12 hours, in the same way, like, within 12 hours of me saying the Olivia Munn thing, she comes out saying she has cancer. And it's just like, okay, well, did she get cancer because I said it? Well, no, she had already gotten. It's like, so it's like something I'm saying is valid. It's just like maybe off a little bit in time. I'm a little too early on my prediction is too late. You know what I mean? Like, it's already happened. Oh, maybe that's the joke from Yahweh. But it's something that, like, the fact that I would predict it at all or say something like that at all is like, okay, that would indicate there's something going on. This is consistently doing this. I just think Yahweh's kind of got a sense of humor, to be honest. But and if he makes it too obvious too early, then he can't string this along to, like, they're trying to lead me on. Okay, well, it has looked like I'm a weak, defenseless, whatever. I think by the end of it, it's going to be really obvious. Like, well, Yahweh's not, and he's going to give me that ability to not be that. So, okay. I'm tired, and this is 3 hours long, and it's longer than I need it to be. I don't even know what to call this. Like, Anja Ambrosio doesn't look like a like Anja Ambrosio isn't ugly. Maybe that's what I'll call it, because she's not. Well, on the outside, I don't think she is on the outside. Though again, it makes me feel really bad. Like it's not like I don't think she's ugly. But when I see her dad's face and it feels like that's what it is, and like it seems like they're taunting me like that, and like I am being hurt, I have been hurt. They don't actually offer any real comfort. It's just imaginary comfort, which is the point. And then they're stealing my attention and energy and reality. They're like spiritual vampires and like maybe real vampires. And there's suggestions that they're doing evil shit behind the scenes and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, well, fuck all this. You know what I mean? Like, is she ugly on the outside? No. I think she's very like I think she's attractive. That being said, she is a cave woman face. No. That being said, I think based on leading me on for this long and never actually doing anything plausible and then making these additional points that are just to hurt me, and even if it's just to test me, you've killed people. Yahweh has made a point. You shouldn't be testing me. You aren't the ones to test me. In the same way Yahweh doesn't want to be tested, if the spirit of Yahweh is in me and you're trying to test me, and Yahweh's killed a lot of people to get you to stop and you still aren't realizing it, that's why he would kill you as Jezebel. Just FYI. You're making a bad example. And like it literally would be bad for humanity to allow you to continue to make this example that is teaching other women to be that example. So to stop that, Yahweh would kill you and Anja and Noah and any other children that you have secretly or whatever the fuck. Just it is what it is. If you aren't that, then you need to immediately repent in sackcloth and ashes. And you and Anja are my dogs. Alessandra and Anja are my dogs. And like I control them. They're my things. I own them. They're my property. They're mine. They never do anything other like I mean they have free will, right? But they definitely will not be using it to make me feel uncomfortable. That's where this is going, where I'm trying to go with it. Is me saying that they're my property and things. Well, first of all, how about this? It seems like some women want to be owned, but they want to be owned by the wrong people, not by the people that are like it or the wrong man or something. And it's like because that turns them on. But it seems like you're connected to me. So this is also the wine of the adultery thing that I'm talking about with the thing. If it's because it's like, oh, it's because it's turning it all on, and at a certain point, it's like, all right, let's just let it play out, and then get eaten, burned alive, and eaten, and you know, we get rid of you, and we can go on to the place that doesn't suck. And it seems to have sucked because you were here, not because like anything else, right? This is why either repenting in sackcloth and ashes, or she's Jezebel. This is like a birthday present, either you're the worst woman ever, or I guess you're my dogs. But, you know, that would entail you being probably higher ranking than a lot of other very prominent women. But, you know, I've already said I want him as my, what I want him as, right? And he can see what, and how they're acting, how Anja is acting and whatever about everything, right? So, okay. So I'm gonna. Oh, actually, I haven't. There is one last thing I'm gonna do. We're gonna go through my story and pictures at the very end to see what is new, like the last bit of stuff. But I do just want to reiterate, like, because I think that's what I'm gonna name this. Anja Ambrosio is not ugly on the outside. uh, on the inside, I mean, she kind of looks like another shitty teenager, and like just a really like a teenager who's literally been used since her childhood to like just make me feel bad. So I mean, I don't. I do think that makes her ugly on the inside because she doesn't seem to do. Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't have to say why because I've spent all this time explaining why I think that makes her ugly on the inside because it's wrong and hurtful. But um, okay, so you got the orange cat, choosing violence, and then lightning orange cat, and then get lightning bolted idiot, and then life hard, but I'm harder, and then uh, also to conquer. So conquer by marshmallow and space lasers, like to conquer at the churches of Asia, at the fourth church to be victorious. This is the victorious secret. I'm the one that conquers. Okay, there you go. Or maybe the victorious secret is something to do with Victoria Justice. I don't know. Has she been abused by Dan Schneider or whatever? I mean, and that's the whole quiet thing and all the feet stuff and or some of this it feels like these women are propping these men up until they can't anymore, then they throw them in the trash and then try to move on because they've been caught, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna end this shit if you don't. Burning lake forever, burning torture, right? You get it? If you've been abused, you need to come out and actually speak it, and we need to end this form of Hollywood that exists. We need to end this form of like the music industry with Diddy and what I'm assuming is going on with Beyonce and Jay-Z behind the scenes and all these other fucking Rock Nation people and whatever. If it's not, I already said my thing about J. Cole. He seems like, well, I don't know. He came out and attacked Kendrick Lamar, but then immediately apologized. I don't know. They just like the rap stuff all seems really silly to me. But he also just seems to be like, again, just like less of a less of a shithead than most of them. So I don't know. Um, I just still get that vibe, but maybe I'm wrong in any instance. Okay, so this is me conquering or Nike, right? Nike. This has existed longer than Nike has ever fucking existed. So it's not like, oh, here's where I get the Nike IP. Yeah. Um, it's literally a Bible word. Huh. Anyway, to overcome, conquer, prevail, get the victory. I wear Nike shit all the time. I like Nike. I just wish they would fix the. How about this? Mercurial Vapor 16s. Fix the stud pattern so that I can actually grip the ground. I will buy more than one pair. I bought one pair of the 15s. I can't get traction. I literally slip all over the place. The 14s grip the ground like a cat. But the 15s grip the ground like I'm running on ice or something. And I'm like, I might as well wear regular shoes or something at this point. Trainers. I mean, if I can't grip the ground, that's the whole point of cleats. But okay, that's the point. To conquer, to carry off the victory, come off victorious. Of Christ, victorious over all his foes, of Christians, to hold fast to their faith, even unto death, against the power of their foes and temptations and persecutions. When one is arraigned or goes to law, to win the case, maintains one cause. Maintain one's cause. Oh, remember the Jonathan Majors thing where I shown and they were and it's like the Persian emperor thing, and they got Ant Man, uh, what's his name, Modoc on one side and Kang on the other. But then you got Zochi in the middle, and I'm doing a mirror thing, and it just looks like I'm holding two shades or shedus or lamasu. Shedus because they're male, like strong bull-like things. I mean, take it as exactly what it is that the emperor is able to that these big kind of. I mean, I guess that's the idea of the Jamie Mazur guy is like some man asserting over, and it's like, well, burning torture. Let me make a point with you, and then no man is ever gonna do this shit to me again, and I think I'm gonna have superpowers that are just like beyond fucking whatever. So, I think they're the evil ones and whatever. Oh, is he on my side? It doesn't seem like it. So, I mean, that's just what it is. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like these are abusive, kind of shitty people. Same thing with these people. It's a forever thing. What is lying about your religion? Okay. I may not be like what people think is a good Christian, but very clearly, I believe it. I believe in Jesus and the Bible, and mostly I believe in the seven churches of Asia being like a if then conditional statement set list. You pull the sword out of stone, you get to be the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. I mean, it's you do the thing, you get to be the king. Okay, so you got Angela and Ariel here, and Ariel Reitzma, and then you got Ariel Matt with an E. Oh, Ariel Matt. Okay, and I'm making a baby point, and then all of a sudden, Anja Ambrosio is like, her and a baby to make some kind of point. It also seemed to be like, oh, hey, Ambrosia, Luca Lush. I mean, it's like, I mean, in the least, I would say an AI should be able to tell this shit is tracking to my reality. I don't think it's the other way around. I clearly said the thing on camera first. I clearly am like, I think I'm the one leading the dance, and they're the ones trying to follow along in order to make me feel like shit, right? Because nobody should be following along with a dance that's in my private story and pictures, and yet they clearly have been for years. So, what's going on that that's the case? Did I enter a coven of witches? Yeah, it kind of seems like it. And like, they're just willing to go to whatever to be abusive shitheads. Like, I mean, I can't just keep repeating this. It is what it is. They aren't good people. Look, if Alessandra was good people, she wouldn't, she wouldn't have let another man rape me using her. Because she seems to want to make as many points as she can that we're connected. So like, and she's even wearing a at the same time, it's the same chain that the oh wait. At the same time, he's wearing this like kind of chain thing, I think, to make a point, right? And it's just like, yeah, this is really fucking tiring and rapey and shit, and I'm just over it. And like, I just want to go home. like, I just want to go home. I'm tired of all these fucking people trying to make me feel like shit. I'm already really like in pain, literally from something from this I think rapey fucking kind of snake bite. If you don't like me calling it rape and it makes you feel uncomfortable, imagine how it feels that I actually feel like that. That I think especially having proved out that they're watching me and this has been a long term thing, and that it's connected to my sexuality, and that it's physically crippling me, and that seemingly me pushing my rapists off me and seemingly into the lava is the thing that's been healing, that I've had to like literally force them out of my being and into the light in order to get this to end. And I mean, they're just the way they're reacting, it seems like they realize that time is about to be up. But I would suggest that this last period, I'm gonna maybe try to string it, make it a little longer, take a little longer, because like um, I want it to be really uncomfortable before they die into infinite burning torture. Like I want it to be humiliating and as wrong as what they've done to me. So I want it to be. I want them to experience at least some of that before they die into infinite burning torture, because like they deserve it. But I didn't deserve to go through this, and they should see what it feels like. So, here's her doing, whatever. It says loose tank down at the bottom. I think the idea is that she's being used as a tank. You know what I mean? Like a psychological warfare tank against me. But I think the Jezebel thing is the thing that like ends it. And so here's the Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio. Are they a trap or my dogs? And then when I added it again, Ambrosio and on my way, and it was like, I'm trying to make the point. She's like saying that, but is she really? Not really. Also, again, this is not a good picture. Like, I don't think this is a good picture of her. So, I just don't. But, and she's wearing that chain thing. And maybe the whole point is, you know, their last attempt is like all these men, it is the Venom IP or something, and it's just like who she's actually working with or being used by is just the man that impregnated her. I mean, who's actually doing it? Who's ever paying all these like whatever these ads are that are seemingly like are empowering the rape of me? Like that advertisers are paying her to travel around the world to be at a distance from me in order to abuse me, which is why my whole point is Yahweh will kill your customers first so that they know to avoid your products, and then they'll kill you when you're broke and like, regretting that you've used this woman in a rapey fashion. And your friends and families too. I mean, he strikes out at the sharpest things to people. And I just pray he like let's me and my mom and my dad get out of this and get to the kingdom together. But I'm getting to the kingdom regardless. I believe that. It's up to my parents whether they get there too. That's just what it is. They have the decision of their own free will. I literally cannot force them to do anything. I wouldn't, I don't want to force it. I want them to go to the kingdom with me, but I can't force it. And so, in any instance. Okay, you got Alessandra here. Uh, I just like her. I just want to use her as a muse. But okay, and then so Alessandra and Anja affirmation. Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio. Are they a trap or are they my dogs? And then my immediate response is trap. They're a trap. So instead, I get to be J and J. I get to be JJ. JJ Watt? Watt Milkins? Uh, that's funny because that's Matt Wilkins, and Watt Milkins is just changed the first letters, right, of my names, first and last name, and then it's Watt Milkins, and then so that's always been the joke. Or I've had that as a joke in my head. I always thought it was funny. And if I'm the J for going through this, I get to be JJ. Oh, I'm not a tiny little Yoda. I'm a big football guy, football gladiator, modern day gladiator guy. All right, okay. But yeah, trap, and then you got dogs and donuts representing buttholes, and then poop, and then snakes, and then the last thing is I shared, because the poop stuff that I keep bringing up, Beelzebub, Lord of the House, but of Chaldee origin, a parody upon, like, well, that's Beelzebul, but Beelzebub is what I think it is, and fucking the Old Testament. I mean, it says Chaldee, but it's not Aramaic. In any instance, whatever. Dung God. That's what I was getting at because it's a name of Satan. But all of these are like, well, Yahweh is like it's Yahweh's house, and these were titles like Baal is Baal Zebub. Baal was a title of Yahweh. It's just taken. Um, so it's always just people stealing from Yahweh. But eventually, if I get it back, my whole point is getting this back. Well, Alessandra and Anja, when you come here and, you know, we do poop stuff and we're smacking each other with poop and we're smearing poop all over each other and poop everywhere and there's pee and stuff everywhere and it's just the weirdest and it smells and there's farts and stuff. Dung God. Am I Satan? No. I'm not the Prince of Evil Spirits. I'm the Lord of Lords, King of Kings. It's my everything. Why can't I poop on my everything? Isn't that how people? Isn't that the idea of like you're sitting on your throne? Okay, well, yeah, it's my throne, and so Alessandra and Anja can be my throne, and I'll poop on them. That's just yeah. Oh no, how could you say something so evil about such innocent, beautiful women, and they're so innocent? And it's like, so whoever's doing this shit to me towards like Stephanie Houston, like trying to like she's just an innocent girl. It's like first of all she's older than me. Second of all, and the same way Alessandra's older than me. So, but the fact that she seems to be existing through her daughter and like using her daughter to do this. Well, maybe it's her. Maybe it's the Jamie guy or Jaime or whatever. However you say his name. Whatever. I mean, you get it. Is he trying to take the J title? I mean, if the biggest joke is that they're trying to take the J title away, and I just get to be JJ because of it. I get double because of it. I mean, that's a good joke, right? Next thing you know, they're gonna be using JJ Watt to try to beat me over the head, and it's like, well, he seems like a pretty solid guy. It seems like a pretty solid family, actually. But at the same time, fuck, it seems like they're trying to make me feel like my own family is doing it. So this is why I need this shit to end. This is why if Noah and Anja suddenly die and like, Alessandra's life goes to shit and like, all the men are brought into extreme tribulation and all sorts of shit starts happening. She's Jezebel. I'm clearly the guy on the throne of Yahweh. I get the iron rod because of it in the Morning Star. That's what it is. don't hate the player, hate the game. Because it seems like they tried to make a player 2 on player 1 in my own reality, and they tried to rape a player 2 into my reality, and that's that Jamie guy. And he wants to represent Mickey Mouse when I'm talking about the Disney Assassins thing. And he's got the all the things that are on their shirts are literally like, it's like they're trying to get a message over. Ream or Ream, Ream, a capital E is Ream engine. I mean, I don't know. It could be all sorts of things. It could be, again, the E. Who's someone that I know with an E? Emilio. I mean, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Do I think that he's doing this evil shit? At this point, I don't put it past literally fucking anybody. I just want this shit over. If he's doing evil shit, yeah, everybody's gonna, like, anybody who's doing evil shit to me is gonna die. Can we just move on to the part where this is done and like everybody is like has a better reality because these shitheads are just like, well, they basically were using resources in a game of abuse that could have been used to like make this place better, and for whatever reason, instead of doing it, I guess people drunk off the adultery of being, rapey shitheads, and then it didn't work, and it's like, oh, you're caught out in a really, it's like when you're really horny and you've done something like, really fucking wrong, and then you're just like, you nut and you're in the refractory period and you're like, oh shit, and now I'm like holding my dick in public and I'm like, this is like really fucking wrong, and it's like been the thing that's been killing everybody, and there's no reason that I wouldn't be dead. Like there's no reason I wouldn't be next, right? That's pretty much how I think this ends for the populations of the world. You can apply the same thing with women, but I don't know about the refractory period, but you get what I'm saying, like where it's like they realize like the wine, the drunkenness wears away when all of a sudden so much of the world changes like instantaneously after a 1260-day period and all these other events have gone on. So, okay. I'm sure I'm gonna add stuff to my story and pictures. Am I gonna put this on YouTube? Maybe. I might just start putting everything on YouTube at this point. But is it gonna go up public immediately? No. How about I wait until I pull lightning from the sky? But then when it goes up after that, y'all are fucked. You get what I mean? You put it past seeing all the lightning stuff? You really y'all are betting, right? Y'all are betting people. You bet she should bet Brazil. All right, well, I bet that Yahweh is going to win whatever fucking bet. And if that bet is a house, because that's what a bet is in Hebrew, it's Yahweh's house. Is it the Dung Lord's house? Dead. I get the house. You get what I'm saying? Congrats. So, in any instance, I'm just tired of all this, and I just want to move on. Like, really. But okay. So I'm going to title this Anja Ambrosio Isn't Ugly. Because she's not. I actually, I'm attracted to her. I think she's pretty. I do. I do. I think she's pretty. Um, when the idea was that she wasn't being used to hurt me, I thought she was beautiful. When the reality is that she's just a trap to hurt me, well, okay, she's a pretty girl. I mean, she does kind of look like her dad, and I do get the whole, uh, like, I do feel abused by the fact that I think metaphysically, I think when all this is said and done, what I'm saying about, yeah, they raped children into my other half because the way Alessandra has connected herself to me, or the way she's been connected to me, or maybe always was connected to me, and it hurts, and it feels like she's just been a vessel to rape away my reality. And my whole point has been like if you were me, right? If this was really like me looking at my other half, she would be just as angry at that Jamie or Jaime guy as I am, and she would feel exactly the same way. And she would feel like Anja should be my dog, and she should feel like Noah, whatever the fuck, needs to make up whatever to me, any means how. You know what I mean? And like that she needs to make it up to me, like in any way possible, and that like it's like literally making it up to herself. Same thing with Anja. That both of them would feel like that. I mean that the whole all of them, right? But that specifically Alessandra seems to be like the vessel through which this is all being done, and or I guess Anja, but I think it's Alessandra actually. I think that's the point. So Anja isn't ugly. I don't think she's ugly. I said that out of anger, and it's just not. Like, here's one thing that you'll get from me, like honesty. I'll try to be honest as much as I can. Sometimes I'm like, I mean, what do I actually feel, right? What do I feel out of this? Well, I feel like it really hurts that like I look at her face and there's another man. And like that instead of like just being here, which is what I've asked for her to make it up, or both of them, Alessandra and her. But how about just this? She could come and meet me, but Alessandra and I are, whatever. You get what I'm saying? But um like, oh, she's not of age. Well, Alessandra can come and satisfy my needs until she is. You get it? But whatever it is, all my grooming. Well, do I got to show the handsome boy modeling school shit? It looks like people tried to groom me for a long time, and like then never provided me a reasonable, normal form of sexuality at any point through my young youth. And it wasn't something I was able to engage with this issue with my right side, because I do think there's a metaphysical thing. Like, I think a lot of people look at me and like they're put off, but they're put off because of what's going on metaphysically, because it's like a magnet thing. Their right eye is looking into my left eye, so they're at me, and I'm receiving at the left side, and it's like, uh, the left side's the shield, the right side is the sword. I'm not receiving, right? Or I'm not. I guess their right hand would be they're receiving from me, but my shield is like. How am I trying to say this? The shield is me that I'm just willing to give freely, right? And their sword is that they're just constantly taking, but never giving back. Their left side's the giving back thing, and it just never comes. They never actually provide what I need. They never are there for me, really. It's always just leading me on, which is why it's like, okay, this needs to end. And like, with whatever's in me that's hurting me, it just like this venomous snake bite thing, it won't until like the anti venom kills whatever the venom has affected me. And so it seems like it's some Ahab Jezebel thing. All right, well then they need to die. So if that's what's going on, again, is more IP capture? I'm sure. Anyway, so I'm just gonna end this here, but I will say like just to reiterate, even if she's being mean tonight and like this stuff isn't to make me feel good, she can be like, I do think she's got Neander. So Andre, you look like your dad, and he looks like a caveman, kind of like Neanderthal, to me, and so or he's got that Mediterranean kind of like whatever weird vibe that I get like from Mert Alas or whatever. Any Turkish? But he looks like that guy. Hmm. But and I think that guy like enjoys the whole like, oh, let's scare the straight men or something, and I'm like, you guys are silly. This is not working. But anyway, it does make me feel uncomfortable, mostly because of my leg thing, and I'm like, why are people just trying to make me feel uncomfortable instead of like help me? Um, I think you should feel bad about that. Like, just you can, you even in this realm of like good and bad, like the Bible's like uh there's none good but God. Okay, well the secular world's like, oh, that's a good person, but that's a bad person. Okay, in this world where people say this is a good person and that's a bad person, I don't think you can claim to be a good person if you're doing this to me. So, and I don't think your bad is badder than Yahweh. So, in any instance, I'll just end this with this. I don't think Alessandra. I mean, I don't think Alessandra's ugly either. Just on the inside. But I don't think Anja, based on everything, it just seems like she's leading me on and psychologically abusing me. I'm not going to even say if it's not this, that, or the other. That's just what it looks like to me. And at this point, she hasn't proven anything otherwise, and I don't think she's going to. So that's why, thus, trap. Okay. So, and then Anja, even if she's part of the trap and complicit and like whatever. I just saw a thing where like a mother teacher and her son, they were get here somewhere in Texas, were getting the mom was recruiting students from her students who's a teacher in order to get the son like who was prostituting the students or something. And like does this situation seem like I'm doing that? It seems like technically, to some degree not, you know, the age thing is off with Anja, but it's also like, well, look at how she's been used to fuck with me. And look at how the Stephanie Houston thing's still going on. Look at how it looks like there's a coven of women that are watching me in an illegal way, that they've lied to the police about the situation, and this situation of abuse has just gone on for years, and it's psychological abuse on top of I'm physically crippled from something that's going on that I think is related to it. So I mean, is it a normal situation? Hell no. I mean, like, no, it's not. So, don't bullshit me. And I think it's been going on for a lot longer than they were even aware. But I'm just going to end it with this because I do think, I want to be kind. I think it's really powerful to be really kind, but I'm also the dude that's like, yeah, but if I say that you're dead, you're dead. I mean, shit, that's cold blooded, right? Yeah. So, um, if she wants to, how about this, Anja? You want to be my monkey face, but not really monkey face, like Harley Quinn lady. You want to be my like cave woman lady or like Neanderthal lady. Hey, Neanderthal face, get over here. Dog face, get over here. Come on. Anyway, you want to be my dog? Yeah, you clearly are making the point that you do, but then you never actually do. So, but I'll say this again. Anja Ambrosio is not ugly. I think she's pretty, and I think even in the pictures where she has like boogers coming out of her nose and stuff, I think that's cute. It's funny to me. Um, like it's just funny to me, but like my whole point originally was that the idea of like what was seemed to be promised by Alessandra and Anja initially of like, hey, we'll help you with you're going through it with Stephanie Houston. We could see it. Let's help. Here's our feet. Here's the door's open behind us, and it's like it never panned out. It never played out. It was just them leading me on. It was a trap to get me sucked further in. At that point, my life like even spiraled considerably more. The whole point, I think, is to kill me and take my resources, but to do it in a way, in the same way the Stephanie Houston's thing is like cyber terrorist who tries to get people to commit suicide or acts of terrorism. Okay, well, me lashing out at people, they probably considered it terrorism until I've like proven out no, there's a coven of witches around me, and I poked the hornet's nest, so to speak, and like they lied to the police here, and maybe the police officer was participating, and then And then my life has just been me trying to piece it back together and prove this situation out. So I do think like it should be pretty telling that like while I'm making this video, those were the points that we saw like at the beginning of the video where it's like I go to the Instagram to like log in because I'm having issue, and then all of a sudden, uh, you know, you could see during the thing, oh, didn't I, oh, we're talking about, it looks like she's taunting me in real time. Oh wait, didn't I just say this in the fucking, didn't I just say this name like Luca in the fucking uh in the video? Like I preempted her post. That should tell you something, right? What do you think, it's random fucking chance? Actually, you think it's random chance? You think this is repetitively over a pattern over years? You think it's random chance? Then get the fuck out of here. You don't know what pattern is. So okay, yeah, I am gonna end it here. So Anja, you aren't ugly. I think you're pretty. I think you're like outwardly beautiful, and you have all the outward signs that you're going to be very beautiful. And that, to me, at one point, you were very beautiful. But then by like participating in this game and making me feel uncomfortable on purpose, and like not just using your words to say, hi, Matt, like I'm your dog or whatever, I'm your friend. And like none of this is meant to make you feel bad. And like it's whatever. Instead of that, it's just like, and it's like, okay, well, cool. All right, well, that's it. I don't have anything else to add. I've probably talked too much anyway, but I think this is like a form of therapy for me, so take it as it is. At least I'm not like lashing out and screaming at people. I just keep it contained to videos on YouTube and whatever. How does that sound? Oh, all the things that I'm saying are at this angry coven, like all these angry things that I'm saying about whatever at a coven of witches that are fucking with me. So I mean, are you really gonna like? I mean, you could hold me, you could try to hold me to it. I think Yahweh would like literally, that would be the point of like, all right, this is it, we're done. He's proved it out. Like you've already made this point that you'll work for the witches. You'll like believe them over God. I mean, the God part is like, well, am I God? No, I'm Matthew Ray Wilkins, but I get to be on his throne. That's the whole like Seven Churches of Asia thing. If not, then who? Who is that? Yeah, they're nobody. So, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Hope this was elucidate something. And yeah, Anja, you're not ugly. You aren't. You aren't ugly. I'm trying to think of something else because I do have some thoughts. Like, okay, you kind of like you want to be Harley Quinn lady. I do kind of okay. I'll call you Neanderthal face or something. But but anyway, you aren't ugly. I think you're pretty. I think you're beautiful. But at one point, I thought you were really beautiful on the inside to a degree that nobody else ever. But now I think you're kind of shitty like everybody else. I mean, not like everybody else. You're an example. You're an extreme example of someone who's really shitty and mean, and you're really young to be this shitty and mean. So it's like, holy shit, it hurts. It's uncomfortable, and like, it doesn't feel like you do anything for me. Actually, you're just leading me on, and like, so if you hypothetically were, because you've never actually like engaged me in any reasonable way, I can't think of anything other. Same thing with Alessandra. Like I can't imagine you guys as anything other than just two witchy kind of evil ladies leading me on, and you're a trap. And like if that's the case, pretty sure you're Jezebel or someone's Jezebel, but I think you're probably Jezebel. And like I think Yahweh's gonna do what it says to the Jezebel character. And do I want that to be the case? I want this to be over, and if that's you, I'm okay with it at this point. So. All right. Anyway, yeah. Anja, you aren't ugly. I love you, but you're kind of a shithead. All right. Bye. Last one later. Yeah.